All right, I wanted to do something different. We're in Szpakowo. Szpakowo, I think is how you say it, is the map's name. We're in Poland. We're going to do a little bit of a different playthrough here where we get to experience what it's like in Europe. So it looks like we do have a John Deere to start with, 3650. Was a little sad when I saw that, but that'll be all right. We got our typical Hardy. I think that's how you say that. The Mega 1200 liter sprayer. And kind of cruising around here, just seeing what we have. It looks like this is this for cows? A cow barn here? Awesome. I think there's multiple cow barns that we had, so that must be what we're gonna get into here. Oh, I don't know this brand either. Notch. A little cultivator requires 110 horsepower. I think we have a little bit more. I don't think I'm going the right way around here to do a little bit of a tour. Hey, there's a ladder. Looks like there's a house there. Pretty cool. And this was just another cow barn. A large cow barn here, apparently. How do we get around? We get around to the other side. Maybe it's over here. Another shed. See if there's anything hidden away. Nothing. All right. Looks like another milk location there. I haven't seen the fields that we have yet. I wanted to use this, the starter farm when I try out these new maps. Are new to me. So this is that same cow barn. Here's where the slurry is, it looks like. And we have a slurry tank. The Farm Tech Supersys. Slurry tanker. There's a grain cart up here. Silage bunkers everywhere. That's a good size one to start with. Another silage bunker here, and we have two there. And then I think we have a whole nother property. So let's take a look at the map here. So this is where we are right now. And we do have a field within our proximity that we own, I believe. I mean, how many different locations? So we have equipment down here, and we own this barn apparently, but no fields. We have some equipment over here that I just got stuck in, apparently. Let's try to go in one of the vehicles. I got stuck in a building there. Let's go right here. We'll enter vehicle. All right, so this is the other one that we're looking at. And there's 63 that looks like it's ready to harvest. But look here, Zator. Let me know how you pronounce this. Another grain cart here. We have a plow that we will not use if we don't have to. So a little confused by the setup here. Oh, here's a cedar, the Great Plains. And another cow barn, so a lot of cattle operations here. So let's go find that. Oh, 67 looks like it's ours too. Can we hop this fence? All right, let's head out this way, maybe? Maybe we can sneak through this. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a prop. It's just a prop. Yeah, I think we can sneak through here. All right, so this is a tiny, this is why I wanted to go to Poland, because we're gonna do some smaller fields, smaller operations here. I have it set to pounds too, and Celsius. So 67's ours. It was harvested already. They had barley in it. And I believe I do have precision. Yeah, I have precision farming enabled. Over here, it looks like there's a creek in the way. I wish those were real. And let's see. Oh, it's just a little baby one. But we do have a nice little wheat field ready to harvest. It did need limed. Doesn't have the soil information. That's looking good. And I think we'll look in the menu to see what we missed of equipment, but I think that's everything here. And then there's this third location where we have the Claus harvester. I think the header was around here somewhere, but there's a little tanker that we can use for the milk if we do get cattle. A baler. Does this have the wrapper on it? I think this is just the regular baler. And then we have another tractor here. Virtus 135. Nice equipment I'm not familiar with, so that's why I wanted to. How do these work? Oh, that is sweet. Yeah, that's why I wanted to jump on a European map and just kind of enjoy it. So this is part of the cow barn, huh? So we could store bales in here. I don't think I want to do a silage pit. We've been doing that a lot lately. Oh, here's the header. So I guess at this point, yeah, let's just take a look in this menu here. And we have nothing. Time saving stock check tells us there's no bales, just happen to be sitting around. So we have, looks like a manure spreader here. the Brantner. And then there's the harvester we went over already. The grain cart we talked about, or one of them. And there's the smaller one. Then we have the slurry spreader, the Great Plains seeder, the baler there, the spreader. We have the 3650 that we talked about, our cultivator. I think we did find everything. So let's locate this and figure out which tractor we want to use. So we'll hop in the John, well, you know what, let's not use the John Deere, but we do want to come pick this up. So that one's our field, and then just to double check here, oh, we have some grass to cut, but I didn't see a mower. So that might be what we need to spend our money on. So let's go ahead, get the grain cart started first, like I mentioned. And yes, let's go ahead, enter this vehicle. Let's check the horsepower on these to see which ones we want to use. Not familiar with this equipment. The John Deere has 116 horses. We'll definitely get a Massey Ferguson at some point. This one has 143 and then 76. So we're going to want to go with the one I hopped in. Yes. And let's see if we can mark on the map where we're going. We'll go ahead and tag that place. That'll get us close. But I'm interested to see if we can find our way around. And then I think the road goes this way. Yeah, all right, so this must be how we exit. Oh, I like the way these are smaller. Oh, that's the manure spreader, right? But I like the fields. They're not ginormous. And we might look into, well, I think we need to get a mower, but I was gonna say look into how expensive these fields are and see about expanding. But it'll be real fun playing this way. Smaller fields, we might be able to move through time a lot faster than we normally do. And we'll see if people like it. I do like mixing it up this way. We've been doing, oh, look at that out there. Is that just props out there? I've got to investigate. Ooh, nice sand on this road. I think that might be, let's open up the map a little bigger. Yeah, that might be the edge of the map. That's some nice detailing. Just a missing thing in this game is other farmers doing things. Beautiful. Nice detailing there. All right, let's head on over to where we were going. And it seems like the proximity isn't super far. So this is gonna be awesome. Nice change of pace. We've been doing a lot bigger fields, a lot bigger maps lately. Just wanted to mix it up for myself. Maybe we'll do a little bit more cab view on here too. But are these ours? Do we actually have cows to take care of? Because that's gonna change our plans if that is the case. Oh, we're learning how to get around here. I don't think that was the right way. Oh no, we don't own that property. That's the one next to ours. Let's just back out here. This right here we do own. We'll double check in the menu. And I think the grain cart, this might not be the right place for that cart. Let's see if we can cut across here somewhere. This big monitor's in my way. Looks like there's a little cut through here. Yeah, little neighborhood. We're just deep in it. I don't see a way to get back there. Like, that's definitely it. So maybe this gate needs opened. Oh, is there someone behind us? Yep, sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, let's get that open. Whoops. There we go. We'll be able to make this turn here. Piece of cake. All right, now let's try to find that grain cart. Oh, it's attached. Is it attached? Is that the big one? I don't feel like this was the bigger one. I think we hopped over here. Now I'm lost because it's not here. It's at the different location, the one we were at. Just back out of here. And we'll get back over there. All right. Oh, a little confusion there at first, but we'll figure it out. 43. Oh, kilometers I'm gonna have to get used to as well. And I hope that doesn't persist over saves. Okay, so I think we go straight here. We'll learn our way around. Should be a quick little harvest though. Boy, not a lot of wheat there. Should be the next dirt road is our turn. All right, we are here. And I think we want to come around this way. And back here, we'll discover. Yeah, okay, so I think we just loop around and we get into that main little farmyard area. And then that's not it. It was this way? Oh my goodness, I'm so lost, guys. It was the third farm. Okay, we're gonna tag that place. All right, we get to see more of it. This is comical. All right, heading out, we take a right, past the silage pits, and then there's a stream that way, so I don't think we can get around that way, so we'll loop back out to the main road and work our way over there. But like I said, it doesn't seem like that large of a map, so it shouldn't take us too long to travel back and forth once we recognize where everything is. Good detailing on the dirt road here with the pebbles and the rocks and the stones there and the grass growing in it. All right, opening up the map big because there's no harm in that. I think we need to just follow this road actually, and it'll lead right to it. It looks like it'll loop through town and then back to the other farm. Perfect. There's those cows again. 30 kilometers is the speed limit. Ooh, all right, and we got some housing here. And there's that other entrance that we found for some of the equipment there. Just to give you a proximity alert here. And I think what we'll do is just cruise on down. Hope we don't see the popo. And make it to the new farm. This is pretty sweet though. Definitely do not feel like I'm in the United States. Those fields out there. On the hills, nice. Some chickens just wandering around. Beautiful. Old harvester, look at that. Attention to detail in map making. I'm missing out not checking out some of these European maps. Hope you guys like this series and we can add a lot more of it. Feels good to mix it up. I do like the 3 locations too, so we're gonna have to drive around and see everything. Some more cows out there. Should be it coming up on the right. We can see on the mini map now. Oh, I think that's our entrance right there. There we go. Okay, a little, ooh. I don't know if that's ours, but that looks cool. Nice little sawmill looking thing here. Chop some logs. Little greenhouse in front of us. I don't know if those are like actually in the game or if they're just decorative. I think they're just decorative. Gotta be. Yeah. But we'll check in the menus too to make sure we're not missing anything. All right, this is where the John Deere, the sprayer, the cultivator were. Okay, so around here in the back is where that trailer's gonna be. The grain cart. Yep, multiple silage pits, another place where we could have cows. All right, turn our head around here. This lined up good. Perfect. Now, let's check our map and mark on the GPS which field we're going to prep to work on, which is 63 there. We'll tag that. So another 1,100 meters, yeah, like proximity between farms, not bad at all. Totally different vibe, guys. Ooh, way more bumpy with the grain cart. Oh, look at this. Got some workers working on the power lines. Got one guy doing the job, the other two just chit-chatting. Realism. Oh, they're talking. That is awesome. Blown away right there. Yeah, we'll definitely drive around cab view, but when it comes to farm work, we'll do that third person. That's definitely the way to do it for videos, in my opinion. Love the detail, man. A little old grain cart. Old tractor there, just well done. Looks like a dealership up there. Nice. All right, we'll find a place to pull off here. And then we'll get the claws all configured and set up for the wheat harvest. If there was a dirt road over here, that would be ideal. I'll just pull off into a grass lot, but that'll work. There should do. Now this is harder to do. We need a camera. No camera to help us backing up there. Not that that would make a difference. Jeez. All right, let's get over to the field. We'll get going on harvesting with this Claws harvester. This is exciting. Yeah, and after the harvest, we'll take a look and see if we do have any animals or if we're gonna have to purchase those and figure out our priorities moving forward with like year 1 on the farm. But we do have a field to harvest, so it's no brainer to start there. It looks like we had grass. We'll have to double check and see if that is the second growth phase or if that needs to go one more. Yeah, this is cool. We'll look at the price of land as well after the harvest. Kind of, you know, think through things, but want to get a little bit of farming going here. Perfect size header for the field we're going to. Backing cab looks pretty good. Someone didn't treat their weeds over there. There's our destination. All right, we'll just pull forward over here. Drop the trailer. You know, this is actually probably the easiest way to line up a header in this game is in cab view. Oh, not bad. You know, with steering assist, it's probably real easy to harvest in cab as well. Let's get in here. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's get it lowered. Oh, that's on. There's lowered. And that should allow us to set up the course. Yeah, that's sweet. Getting some wheat going. Going 10 kilometers an hour. Yield is terrible. We're in the red, so we'll have to figure out how to make that better. Get the soil sampled and all of that afterwards. I don't think there was any benefit in doing that beforehand. Go ahead and clear this entire corner. And then we'll back out. Oh, we're not dropping swath either. We'll have to change that. All right, we're gonna bust out probably the quickest harvest ever on the Farming Sim SWU channel. Let's do it. No speed override needed. Yeah, it's quite the quick little harvest. Didn't even fill up the harvester at all here. So we're about 59%. We're got about 5,000 liters is what we're going to get at the end here. Not too terrible for this size of a field, but we'll get that yield much higher next time around. And I think we're going to have to rely on renting or leasing because there's going to be a lot of equipment we don't have that we need. I didn't see a way to spread lime, though I do have liquid lime enabled, so maybe we'll just do that on this series. Let's get this. Wrong button there, rookie. That's the one I was looking for. Get the pipe open, back up. We did damage a little bit of crop there, but not too bad. And was there a little bit behind me? Every little bit's gonna count here. Snag these little, like a liter over here. Messed up our swath though. All right, 15,119 liters. Let's get it unloaded into the grain cart here. I didn't see, we've got to have a silo. I didn't see one though. Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. No silo there. Yeah, I don't think we do. I am tempted to sell some of our property though, that we just don't need that many farm yards. But let's go into prices here and look at wheat, because I think we're gonna have to sell this right away. Prices are good. So let's see, what is the best one here? The grain mill looks like the best. We'll tag that. Solves that problem. Get a little bit of cash here on day one, and we're gonna gamble and go to the right, see if we can get there. I don't think we can, but we're gonna try. Oh, this is the actual way. Perfect. Yeah, so I think I am gonna see if it'll let us. I know sometimes you can't sell property that has buildings on them, like placeables. So if we can, after we sell this grain, we're gonna take a little deep dive at our properties and make sure we don't have any existing cattle. If we started with cattle, then we're gonna have to figure out a way to get them feed here right away. This little dirt road will take us right to it. Track, I guess I should call it. Take this track here. Sunflowers to our right. But yeah, we might, see what we can sell, see how much money we can get out of that. Do we need all three tractors? Because another piece of land would be nice. Or not piece of land, another field would be nice. Actually established field. A nice little bridge across here. All right. It's our sales location. Just cruise in here a little bit slower now. The grain mill. That's a long trailer. There we go. And it's dumping. Is it gonna hit? It did hit, but it's okay. We'll have to change that to tip sideways maybe. We made 6,300 bucks and lost 98. Not too shabby. Puts us at 106,000. But we're gonna make our way back to the farm and figure some things out. There's some decent sized fields on this map. It's not just tiny. Like these ones are pretty decent sized. They're not, overwhelming like some American ones that are gonna take 4 hours to harvest. Oh, that was our that was our farm. We're gonna have one more pass us here, yep. And we'll do a little sneak, try not to hit any crops. Oh, I think we pulled it off. With the grain cart, nice. And home, beautiful view out there. Terrain change, the levels there of these hills are awesome. Yeah, not 100% sure we're gonna be using all of these bunkers, so let's go ahead and just park right here for now. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a deep dive. So this property here is the southernmost. No, that's the northeast one. So we come down here, the southwest. We have our cultivator, the slurry spreader, and the sprayer down here, and the John Deere. So if we try to sell this, what happens? I mean, that's $500,000. There's no fields. Like, we could cut that grass. It will let us. Beautiful. That's what I wanted to do. So we will need to get that equipment moved, but that gives us some good money. Let's look around here. I'm going to keep this one, I think, for now, and this will be our home base. But how much is this field? Absolutely going to buy that. Animals. Cow barns. We do own 3 right now and no animals, so we can make our decision on that, how we feel, how we want to. We can do whatever we want with that. Like when we get to it, we can get to it. We can make sure we're prepped. This is ready to harvest, no data. Let's go ahead and spend some money on that right now too. All right, let's go here. Let's get this. We're just gonna pay for the to get it analyzed. $780 there. Straight up loam. All right, 55 was ours as well. Let's purchase that. It's got a mixture of loam and a little sandy and a little silty clay as well. 63 that we just did. We get this one purchased as well. Yeah, that looks like that yield's never going to be great over there. But financially here, I do want to save money for more equipment. Let's see what's going on 57. We have buckwheat. Interesting. We'll have to learn all the custom crop types here and maybe try them out. But buckwheat looks to be around the same. Let's see, that's about 1,300. Wheat was... Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and buy it. And then I think that's good for fields. We'll buy that. And that's one of the big ones. And then we want to purchase the soil type, which is okay. So we're seeing a little bit of silty clay, but a lot of sandy loam and mostly loam on these fields. I guess we know what we're doing next. We're harvesting another field. I mean, that will allow us to focus on that today. And then in September, I think that buckwheat field's going to be ready. So we would be able to harvest that in September and do all the baling. And I just noticed another field that we do own, which is right here, which was ready to, let's just purchase the soil on it. All right, so we got all of that taken care of. So we'll be looking at the calendar too, seeing when is it time to get these fields replanted. But we want to head this direction. Yeah, I think this is a good call. We'll keep both of these. So we have fields around that farm there. And then the one we're driving towards as well, we have fields around the proximity of. So it makes sense to keep those. Ooh. All right, there's our buckwheat field, which I don't think we'll do anything to try to improve the yield. Oh, that's not ours. This one is. We'll do that next time around. We'll just harvest these as is and then try to improve them moving forward. So this will be a decent size harvest compared to the other one. Trying to see if there's a spot to drop this header trailer, which I think we're gonna just ask for. We can just drop it right here and ask for forgiveness from our neighbors who have sugar beets. Is that what that is? Yeah, sugar beets going. Just nice to enjoy Farming Simulator and not have a challenge or anything specific connected to it. Just seeing a new map and a different style of farming, really. I think this one we will. Oh, this isn't even wheat. Spelt? Is that how you say that? I don't even know what that is. It looks like wheat. Oh, we need to fix that. We want general settings, game settings, right? Vehicle. We want automatic stop off, and the rest of it, yeah, I think we're fine with. All right, let's get this back on. 2 headlands looks pretty good to me, and away we go. Harvesting spelt for the first time. Hopefully you don't say it differently. I don't know how else you would pronounce that. Getting 85% yield bonus, so not terrible here. Hopefully we can improve that as well. 4.8 tons per hectare. Looks like we get straw from this as well, so some more baling to do. We were anticipating that anyway, since I just assumed it was wheat looking at it. Very cool. Maybe we will just plant the crop types that are specific to this map moving forward. Grain cart's right there, so not too bad once we need it. Let's go ahead and bust out these headlands. See how good this yield does.
Once you let the light in, you won't see the beautiful stars shining down from afar. No, I ain't afraid of the dark. I don't mind the rain, bringing life back. We can breathe again when dealing with the pain. No, I don't mind the rain. What you need to know, and like a river flows, life will take you where you
and finishing up the last headland here, we're 41% full with 3,500 liters. Not too terrible. Getting used to the field sizes here and the amounts of money we're going to be bringing in. It seems like selling that property was a really wise thing to do for us to be able to progress. Otherwise, man, it's rough over here in Europe, these field sizes. Much respect. Really enjoying this style of play, though. It's a little more narrow focused. I think you're just really focused on finishing what's going on your farm and taking care of it when you're just playing and not, you know, have a challenge in mind or an end goal of having X amount of dollars or paying off debt. Just enjoying Farming Simulator and a different environment, like I've mentioned multiple times. Very cool stuff. And we're quite a ways into this video now. I'm going to give a little explanation of why we're doing this instead of the hard economy video. If you want to know a little bit more about me, if you're new to the channel or haven't been around for more than probably about 3 months, there is a video called The Fork in the Road, and it was about me really changing the way I'm doing content and not doing things I don't enjoy. And we're coming up on a little bit of a holiday for me. I got my parents coming into town, so I'm getting somewhat recorded ahead. We talked about not doing that anymore, but it just hurts the channel so much if I take a week or 2 off. So we are going to get some videos down, and I've been making a lot of mods because we're going to go pretty heavy back into roleplay on this channel. It's definitely the last quarter of the year coming up here, and just really prepping a lot of things for you guys in the background, some custom mods I'm making, and you'll see in a couple weeks or after this comes out the whiskey distillery for Whiskey RP. But I needed something to just relax and play and not really have to constantly think about every little thing we're doing for challenges and doing the hard mode, hard economy. And we'll come back to it. I just need a little bit of time to figure out exactly what I want to do with it, so I'm not forcing it out. And that's the big thing that we were doing prior to the Fork in the Road video. I was forcing out content and sat down to record and decided, no way, I'm not doing it today. I don't feel like it's a wise decision today, so I wanted to start something fresh and new, and I've been wanting to do a European farm and map for a while. You know, I did a little bit in FS22. We went to Brazil, which I'm looking forward to doing again in FS25 once the time is right. But a little explanation on why we're here in Poland. I'm loving it too. What a great decision. I think we finally will fill up the harvester on this pass here. I did do a little speed override. Just, I'm an impatient person, guys. What can I say? 95% full. We will stop at the end of this pass either way, so that we don't have the pipe facing the grain or the crop when we get done. And I think we're going to be at about 98% anyways. A little bit of extra cash. These fields are going to take a little while to pay for themselves, but that's all right. 98% like we thought. We'll see how much we can fill up this farm tech grain trailer here. Shouldn't get anywhere near the capacity of it. Yeah, and having these fields super close is nice to the 2 farmyards. Try not to drive on the swath too much, but we're gonna have to. All right, just pull forward till we see the numbers start showing up. Perfect. Look at that. And I'll try not to Americanize this as much as possible, but it'll happen. But here we go. About 5 more passes here to do. The last one's a super tiny one, so not expecting a whole lot of yield or liters throughout the rest of this harvest. But let's bust it out. All right, we are done with our second harvest here in Poland. Let's go ahead and shut the header off there. This unloaded, and we'll figure out if it's the same place to sell or not. A little slow climb uphill here with a little bit of weight in the back. 56% full, that's not bad. It's like having the right equipment for the job, right? Try to avoid going on the road here. There we go, perfect, it did work. All right, let's take a look at where we're selling this. It's not quite at a great price, but we just don't have anywhere to store it. We could keep it. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it in the grain trailer here, because that's a decent amount of money we're gonna lose. I think I do have time-saving stock check. It will not show me because it's not in a silo, but about $600 per liter, so about times 10, you're talking $6,000 we would lose. So yeah, definitely, whoops, no one saw that. Definitely worth saving this and just putting it. We'll find, I think we might have somewhere to put it so where it doesn't get rained on. We'll take a look over here in the farmyard. You know, I bet if I was driving this way, I wouldn't have ran into that. I seem to drive a little bit more careful in cab view and a little slower. Cruise around this way. I think there was one of these we could open and drive through just to get this inside. Oh, we didn't even need to go this way. We could have just turned around and not even gone on the road. Yeah, what do we have here? Let's hop out and open this. Oh, it's a little pull through. But if we open this and that, I should be able to shimmy my way into that little storage area. See if we can pull this off. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it the shimmy way. We'll back in. All right, let's see if we pulled far enough forward to straighten her out. We did not. Oh, this is gonna be hard to back up with this type of axle. Let's go real slow. See, the back end doesn't really turn on these. Might have, yeah, we'll go a little bit farther forward. We're gonna fight this. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it here. It's still, there we go. All right, now can we correct? Can we correct enough? Oh, we're all jackknifed. All right, we got the wheel turned that way now. Yeah, that's just, that axle just jackknifes instantly. I think we got it though. Good enough to protect it. Not the best backing up job there. And we ran into the ladder. Let's go ahead and detach that. And we'll loop this around to another bay here. Get it all shut off. Yeah, so now we can close these on up. Does this one get closed? Just this door, okay. Pretty cool. What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to Szpakowo, Poland here. We are working on baling our fields, and today we're gonna get to our buckwheat harvest over here. It looks like the yield's not gonna be the best, just like we expected. We're picking up some straw right now. We also have the grass field that we're gonna have to figure out what we want to do with. It's so small that I'm not sure it's even worth worrying about unless we actually did get cattle. And I'm undecided on that. I do want to focus on all of the specialty crop types that come with this map. Get those planted throughout the couple years that we'll probably spend here. And just really enjoy Poland. So that's the plan. We're gonna get this all baled up. We're gonna have to get a bale trailer. Figure out which one of our tractors we can put a front loader on so we can get these bales moved around. That's the plan this morning. Finishing up August right now. We'll probably make it September here momentarily. But I'm gonna get this baling done and then we'll do some shopping. And we already did the field to the left over there by the other farmyard if you joined last episode. If not, we'll show you in a little bit. We are at 18 bales total. Looks like we will get a 19th bale here. Not too bad, not too much to manage to pick up. But we'll get this last one done and then a little partial bale. And then we're gonna sleep for the night. And so in concluding baling here, we're not gonna worry about all the little pieces everywhere. That'll be 19 or 20 bales total. Let's go ahead and drive this back in. I did move all of our equipment from the farmyard that we sold last episode. So we do have everything between here and the second farmyard now. But we're gonna sleep, make it September, head to the store, figure out if one of our tractors can be configured for a front loader and get a trailer to move some bales around. And this should be safe right here. I did open all the doors so I can you know, see all the areas now that we can kind of wander through. But it's time to sleep. I think what we're gonna do is we're going to find our little trailer. That's the slurry tanker. Where'd I put the goods? All right, it's behind here, I remembered. So that can be configured to a bale trailer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on doing that. Well, we need a silo, and I think that's what I want to spend my money on instead of buying another trailer when we already have a trailer. And I was looking at the calendar. We're gonna need this trailer for the buckwheat harvest, so we gotta clear this up somehow, and I think I found a spot. Let's take a look. I think back here in the edge of the property, we'll put a silo down, and we'll go with this old school looking one. And that should work right there. And I think we just cruise around this way. We can get on over there. Yeah, I think that looks good there. That'll work for us. And go ahead and drop the spelts in there. I think I'm saying that right. Works good. All right, so now let's head on up to the dealership. We're gonna have to try to find that because we're gonna buy, we're gonna reconfigure it, and then we're gonna also buy a front loader for the John Deere. And I am loving this cab view on this map. It just looks so good. You get to see all the details a little bit closer on the ground, the foliage. So nice. Starting to see some leaves on the ground here as it's starting to become fall. I think the place we're looking for is a left turn up here just past this dirt road that's coming up. Still discovering everything on this map. So we'll get past the dirt road. Yeah, I think this is it right here. This looks like the place. Service looks like we need to open the garage potentially. Oh, that's pretty nice. All right, let's just pull in here. And it is gonna be free to customize this to a bale trailer. And then we're gonna come in here and add the front load attacher. We'll go with the quick. Now it looks like we get to go inside here. Do we actually get to go inside? Lovely. Look at this. I dig it, I dig it. All right, now we gotta come in here and get the front loader. And we'll be able to go with the cheapest one possible, I believe, here for 7,500. Customize this, let's see if we can get the John Deere colors on it. We might as well. I think, oh, those, let's do like, do we have the John Deere yellow? We do. Yeah, we'll do it that way. We'll buy that. And combinations, we will go, what do we wanna do on here? Never used this before. I wanna give this a shot. And we'll come back and get some bale forks if we don't like that. Go ahead and get this all hooked up and we'll head on home. Get some bales moved around. We'll figure out the configuration of that and the controls here in a minute. That looks pretty easy, actually. The only thing is our bales sit in the right direction for this. Might have to knock them over. I don't know, never used it before. We'll figure it out though. All right, we did mention this field we harvested last month. We are gonna go ahead and cruise into this field. There should be 3 bales here waiting for us. Go. Let's make sure we pull far enough off the road. That should be a good spot to drop the trailer. All right, we're gonna at least figure this out. This mode here. All right, which way do we want to grab these? I'm guessing this way. Probably want them the other direction. I don't, this should still work, I would imagine. Oh yeah, why haven't I used these? And we could probably even get away with stacking them correctly here, so they don't roll off. Let's try this way. This actually might be easier. Oh, we're not gonna be able to get enough height to do that. Okay, well, that was a thought. I don't know if we're gonna get all the way over, so we might need to help this one out. All right, let's back up. And we'll be able to budge that. I don't know. Let's try to get it a little bit farther over. All right, that'll work. And this will probably be a good spot. We'll see how long the patience lasts picking up the bales this way. But you know, like everything else, practice makes perfect. So maybe we just fight through it. as we dropped the bale. Okay, let's look at the price of straw. Not much fluctuation. We are going to go to KD sell points for this, which looks to be behind us. All right, so that direction. Go ahead and get back on the road. Just under 100,000 liters of straw to sell. Let's head that way. New sell point to learn. Just a relaxing little drive through town here. 800 meters away. Some apartment, looks like apartment buildings there. There's those open chickens again. Free range, love it. And this must be by that other farmyard we had. Making our way there, we'll get there. I thought this was an interesting design for having a pole or a bar in the middle of your windshield. And the pipe's there anyways, so you're not gonna see much, but it just feels like I'm a little obstructed driving this one in cab. The road narrows over here, so we'll have to be a little more careful. All right, we have not been this far yet. That is the yard that we sold. Now looking at it, it's probably the nicest one and we should have kept it, but that's all right. It gave us a lot of money to fund what we're doing. I think it's just gonna be here, we go right into it. And then take a left, I believe so. So let's go ahead and slow down here. Yep, there's a car coming. Let's get out of its way. And we will just loop through here. Nice. And it looks like the location to sell is directly ahead of us. All right, making some money. $15,000. Not bad, that's pretty good for some bales. Make our way back. We're gonna look at the calendar. The buckwheat is not ready, so I think what we're gonna do is take a look at what we can do to start prepping some fields for the next planting. I know we have at least 3 fields that we could get taken care of. We'll look at our cedar, make sure it's gonna require cultivation, and get the cultivator going if that is the case. But I'll see you at home. Yeah, thinking through these forks here, I think if we would have if we had the baler set up to where it flips the bales onto their side, I think it would work pretty good. I believe it is designed to grab them that way. It would make a lot more sense. So maybe we'll look into seeing if we can reconfigure that baler to have the attachment on the back that flips the bales after they drop next time around. And that might help us with baling or picking up the bales. Otherwise, I might switch back to forks because I don't really want to use auto load all the time. And we don't have a ton of bales to pick up on this series, so it would be a good one for me to get some more practice into actually moving bales around. All right, we made it home. Let's look at the calendar and start planning some of this out. So planting right now, I don't think there's anything, but we're going to look at these custom types. So we have the buckwheat, we have clover, which I don't think we'll do anything with. We do have flax. We could plant that in April. Mustard, we could plant in September. That would be interesting to do. Then there's also a mustard cover crop. Then we have rye. Rye, I think, is what I wanted to plant. You can plant it in March, or you could plant it in September, October, harvest July, August, September. They have a specific thing for silage corn, huh? That's interesting. The spelt we could plant as well. And then we have green rye and, wow, how do you say that? Vetch rye? I think what we're gonna do is I want to go with rye. We're gonna get the tractor we're using last time. I forget what brand it is, or forgive me. The Virtus, the same Virtus? I think this was the one with our most horsepower. We're gonna go grab well, let's look at the Great Plains cedar real quick. Looks like it does require cultivation, so let's go get the cultivator. It is at the other farm. And then I think we're gonna come back and do field 56 as rye. But you know, while we're over there, we could cultivate that smaller field. I think it's 65 is that field number. Just cruise around here, get back to the main road, and then on our way to go grab that cultivator. Yeah, we'll get these 2 fields cultivated, and then we'll figure out exactly what we want to do for lime. We did get the soil samples already, so now it's just taking care of the soil correctly. Boy, that monitor is not in a good spot. That is a huge blind spot. Nice little sunroof though. Now we have this little field here as well. So maybe we'll get all 3 of them cultivated here. If I can remember, yes, pull through here. That's where I left it. Perfect. Sneak in here, hook up to the cultivator. And sneak on out. Yeah, let's start with this one we haven't been on yet. Awesome. All right, let's get her lowered. Start ripping up the ground a little bit here. So it's a shallow cultivator, I believe, right? Probably want to get a little farther over on that pass. There we go, that should be better. All right, let's get the guided steering assist all configured here. Ooh, quite the noises. Yeah, that's nice little GPS noises there. Sounds, little beeps. Cultivating up nice. Oh, look at that. That looks awesome. Been missing out not doing a little more in cab view. Texture looks really good when you look behind that way. All right, this shouldn't take long at all. Let's get this field done. And last pass, glorious little quick job here. These fields are cool. I'm loving this change up, guys. Nice little mix up in the way we play. Not bad at all. Almost feels like you're not gonna even make your money's worth of the effort you put into this field. Gosh, 'cause they're so small. So we'll get lime going next on some of these, but I think we'll go ahead and get this one going next. Just hopping over the creek. I do love that we don't have just rectangular fields as well. There's a little bit of a natural design to them. A little bit of character. Yeah, not bad at all. Found it easier to do this in cab view on this one. Just the trees are in the way. It's just hard to get time lapses look good in cab view is the problem. Yeah, this is pretty nice. See the difference? No. We were lined up. Come on, guided steering. Yeah, I don't know if I would go crazy with all this beeping long term. It is pretty sweet to hear it, but at some point it's like, come on, that's enough beeping. No, it probably wouldn't bother you at all because you're actually relying on it. You're not just hearing it. Well, we do have some rain falling now at noon. I'm not sure how long this storm's gonna be. We already see the cloud icon for the next forecast, so I'm assuming it's gonna be a short one. What I'm gonna do after this is I'm gonna take this on over to the spelt field, and we're going to cultivate that, but I'm gonna hand that over to a worker, and then I think we are gonna utilize the liquid lime. We have that mod installed, and we do have a sprayer, so we could utilize that to get lime put down. And then the Great Plains should have the fertilizer unit, and if it doesn't, we can upgrade it. And we'll get the fertilizer put down when we plant that way. So 2 fields done. We'll get this going on a worker, like I said, and keep making progress. Loving this series. Let's cruise on over there, get them set up. Look at the texture. The water texture on the road looks so good. All right, we're here. We'll just hand it on over and have them go on their merry way while we jog up and grab another tractor to go get the sprayer. Does seem to be coming down pretty good at this point, so hopefully this is a short storm. Shouldn't interrupt our day too much. And this is where we stored the sprayer for now. So we get this picked up. And head on over to the store and see about getting some lime for this. Tractor seems to be handling it fine. You know, smaller field's gonna be hard for me to judge how much to buy. I think we'll just buy whatever the capacity of this is to start with. So we'll take a look in the store to remind ourselves of that. And this one does hold 1,200. So we'll go ahead and buy 2,000 worth. Let's see if we can find it here. It comes in 2,000, so that should do. And you know, like I said, I have no idea. No idea how much we're gonna go through, but oh, does this show the capacity right here? I've never looked at it that way. All right, let's go ahead and start filling her up. It says this actually, it does. Look at that. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. The little details in life. Is this too heavy now? Seems like it might be. Might be lifting the front end a little bit. Oh, like this, just gorgeous. With the rain, they got the leaves on the ground. Just a great amount of detail. Just kind of wondering if we're even gonna need to do 2 passes here. Looks like just barely. Should definitely be enough. Let's go ahead and get it activated here. Oh, that's going down fast. And just a small area. It's just unfortunate we'll have to use twice as much as we really need to here because of the width. But yeah, the capacities might be the one thing that makes this not desirable to use. But it does add to the efficiency value. If you could buy, I believe the tank on the front to expand our capacity would be the best thing to do. But we've already burned through it and we didn't finish this field. Just a little bit. That's unfortunate. All right, let's head back over there. Let's see if there's a back way to get there right here. It looks like this dirt road might connect. Should have brought the trailer and the John Deere. Bought a forklift, or a fork, pallet fork, but that's all right. Looks like this will take us directly to it. Maybe. Negative. We can get there though. Oh, these sad fields didn't get harvested last month. Yeah, there's a little entrance here. Perfect. Oh, maybe not. Oh, no one saw. Definitely gonna need more. Let's go ahead and purchase it. I think we're gonna need at least 2 more of these. We'll grab 3 just in case. Fill that up and then head on back. I think it is a little too heavy for this tractor. We probably won't use it next time. I might actually swap out. It is lifting a little bit on the front, especially when we hit bumps. Definitely helps to just keep the speed down a little bit when there's these conditions, I guess I should have said. All right, let's get it done. And then we'll, like I said, we'll probably get the John Deere over there, buy a pallet fork so that we can get the lime brought over so it's a lot quicker to do the next 2 fields. And probably buy 1 more pallet too while we're there. But I'll head on over to this next field, get prepped, and then we'll do that. And just filling up with some lime. We got the John Deere over here. We did buy some pallet forks, but this is all the lime we already had purchased earlier. So just a little bit of stretch here while the worker is still finishing the cultivating. The timing should be just about right, but I feel like this is plenty of lime to finish this area. So now we'll cruise on over and get this prepped and staged at the other field we're gonna prepare today. And we're gonna get at least, I think, 2 of these planted here in September. We'll see how time is. Getting back on this road, I am blown away by the textures and colors and everything on this map, specifically with the reshade. It looks a little dull without it, but man, like that versus that just looks beautiful. All right, with the John Deere out of the way, we can finish up the liming on our field number 63 here, but boy, I do think this is the wrong tractor. Especially as it's getting wet out here, it's just slipping a lot more, and I don't think it can handle the weights when it's full. So we'll probably, if we do another lime session later on, we'll probably switch tractors on that at that point, but we'll get by. And hopefully this is enough so we don't have to bring the John Deere back over, but we'll shut it off there. A little farther zoomed out to make sure we don't overdo it, but yeah. So let's get this done. We'll get back over to that other field. I'll see you there. Well, we got a little time to kill before they're done with cultivating here. I am going to run over to the other farm. We're going to get the Great Plains. And we're going to bring that back. We'll probably run up to the store, too, and get it topped up with seed and fertilizer. And there it is. This should be a perfect seeder for the size of fields we have. Just got to get this backed up here. I love the ground texture. The different colors, that's pretty sweet. All right, let's head on back to the dealership. And it looks like we do need to see about upgrading this to get the fertilizer on here. I definitely want to do that as a single phase. Yeah, this is challenging this way. We probably should have gone down that dirt road. Implements in town aren't gonna work in Poland. You might as well put the flashers on, put the hazards on. And I guess we should have brought the trailer, but I elected to go this way with it. We can put the pallets, the leftover that don't fit, on the pallet forks and try to bring them back with us so we don't have to do multiple trips. And I'm hoping, you know, just one pallet of seed and one pallet of fertilizer is going to be enough. So we want to go into the Great Plains here, and we definitely want to add that for $5,000. Add in the fertilizer units. And then let's hop into the store. We will get a whole pallet of seeds. And, oh, let's double check. That is solid fertilizer. So we will do, instead of a bag, let's do the pallet of fertilizer. And I don't remember how much fits in here, so we might get lucky. We won't get lucky, but how much seed? How much seed? Back up and get a little closer here. Now we should be able to go ahead and hit that. And then we wanted to do rye first, so let's see if we can get that set on here. Yep. Oh, so it did take all the seed. That's gonna work out lovely, unless we need more. But we do have the pallet forks on here, so we'll be able to sneak up and we'll go this way. It should be fine. And we'll take this home with us. Or back to the field that we're going to want to plant first. And I think I want to start with the bigger one by the property. We'll get that one prioritized today. Or by the what I'm calling the main farmyard. The one that the cultivator is on right now. So we still need to do some prep on that, but we'll get this ready. Hopefully by the time we get over there, they're close enough for us to get started doing lime. And I'm hoping this rainstorm clears up here. It didn't come down too hard, so it's not too damp out here, but it is raining. Yeah, I guess we could. I was worried I couldn't see with the pallet here, but we're good. I just don't like the bar in the middle. Can we see the width? We can't even see the edge of the cedar in the side mirrors. That's rough, and this guy's really trying to pass us back here. There's nowhere to go, bud. We're getting ready. We got our hazards on. And they are doing the last headland, it looks like. Great timing. Or almost. Second to last headland. Beautiful. Just love seeing farm work going on, man, when we're driving by. All right, we'll strategically... come on, Chris. We'll strategically put it right here for now. Got all three tractors out doing work. And let's see if we filled. We did not. So we can do a little bit more prep work here. Get this topped up. And once they get far enough past us, we will start putting some lime down. I'm going to back up as far as I can here and try to get all of this in one go. Feeling the tree would cause issues, but we might be able to pull this off right there. I think they're far enough ahead now. Let's go ahead and lock in. Get the lime started. And come on, you can do it. You're going too slow. 10 kilometers an hour going up the hill. Just going to burn through this lime. Just crazy. Hopefully we have enough. And I'm not seeing the data we're supposed to see. Did we not buy... Let's stop. Did we not buy the field sample here? We do. I don't know why. That's interesting. It's not doing anything. Maybe liquid lime doesn't work. And I'm just noticing this. Let's look at these other fields. If we look at, let's see, I guess we need to visit over here. No, it's still a bad state. Okay, so that sucks because it's not changing it at all. I guess I should have verified that. Now we know. All right, we did lease a piece of equipment here. I'm going to leave the cultivator out for now just so we can get this done quicker and get back to the phase we're supposed to be at. But I'm going to give us a full tank here of lime just to kind of compensate for the issue that we had. Not that it's going to make or break us financially. Let's go ahead and get that activated. Is that width actually accurate to there? It looks like it is. And it's cruising. And it's adjusting. Now we can see the levels. That's good. So let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Looks like this tractor is only going to be able to handle about 11 kilometers. And it'll be interesting to see if it applies here. Yeah, I had a feeling we're kind of out of luck for these areas this time around, but that's all right. We'll get the rest of this field and the field next to us prepped and done correctly. Live and learn. We live and we learn. All right, let's finish this liming session. All right, we're gonna do the rest of this here. I don't know if 333 liters is gonna be enough for this last little area, but we're gonna give it a shot here. And I think since, you know, the whole field's not already in a good state, whatever we run out here, we're just gonna kind of deal with. I think we gave ourselves enough of a liberty there financially. But we can give this a return now. There it is. Let's go ahead and return it. And let's pull this to the side. We will be using the John Deere to plant. Let's get it going because it's getting late in September already. 3 o'clock already, over 4 o'clock. All right, it's exciting. Gonna get some rye. Whoop, overcorrected. We're gonna get some rye in the ground here. And I think it'll be fun to do all the custom crop types on this map. And I believe this was a conversion from 22, if not 19 as well. I didn't look that far back. Lots of headlands it wants us to do. Let's get this lowered and activated. Lock into place. Planting rye for the first time on FS25. I love it. And we'll learn here what the time frame is like for the sun setting in September in Poland. Using some green equipment here, some John Deere green. Go ahead and just curve with the turn here. We should be able to get it nice and then get locked back into place right there. All right, I'm gonna get busy. Boy, just about 2 headlands done, and we are burning through the fertilizer. You can see it is a bright red right now, so it kind of makes sense. I didn't think it would use as much as it's using, but boy, and I think I need to double check the specs on these tractors and see which one we should be using, because this is struggling a little bit. So I think we'll finish this headland here. We're gonna top off on fertilizer. It looks like seed's gonna be fine, but we're definitely gonna need another pallet, if not 2. We're gonna be burning through a lot more fertilizer on these fields right now with the way that it is. And I don't know if it's this implement, but I guess we are adding 740 kilograms per hectare here to adjust the nitrogen level on the field. So it makes sense, but 2 headlands using 80%, that tells us we're gonna use a lot of fertilizer. All right, let's get this topped up, and then we will, like I said, double check the specs. The Great Plains requires 110 horsepower, and the John Deere has 116. So we do want to use the Virtus. It should perform better, and I don't remember. Whoa, sorry neighbors. I don't remember if the fertilizer rate depends on how fast you're going, like Lime does. I know you can kind of cheese Lime a little bit by speed override and going faster. We're not doing speed override, but we weren't getting to the top speed often. So that's kind of my thought process there of, will we be able to, you know, make sure we're not wasting material. But let's get back over here, get this configured again. And gosh, these headlands are a little tough here. And I guess this would have been a good field to start practicing doing headlands last again. See if I can get back into that habit. But this is the last headland. There's just 3. We'll be doing the ups and downs after that. And some of those specs that we missed we'll be able to take care of too. This definitely feels like it's pulling it a little bit better. Getting up to that 12 kilometers a lot faster. I think for the other fields, I'm gonna do spraying the fertilizer. So maybe we shouldn't have done the $5,000 upgrade, but I think it'll be okay. We're definitely gonna need another pallet, so I'm gonna use the store deliveries here, and we'll buy one just for now, just in case this is enough, but it might not be. And yeah, we're driving on our neighbor's fields. Forgive me, neighbor, please forgive me. Go around, lock in here. Back activated, and away we go. All right, yeah, rye level looks fine. We're still at 60%, so we should be okay. Just get back and forth on this field a couple more times, and we'll be all set. And it looks like the second bag of fertilizer was enough. We got one pass to do here as the sun is starting to set in Poland, but we got rye in the ground. Should be a much better yield than what we got from the wheat, or sorry, the spleet? The spleet? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's, I've never heard of it. But it should be much better. There's a small area where we didn't get the line put down, which should be fine, but we should be looking at a much better yield on this field moving forward. Only thing really left to do today is clean up everything that we have outside, get it put away, and we can call it a night. And working on getting this cedar put away. I'm hoping it fits in between here. It does. Perfect. Let's get a little bit back. And that should be good right there. We'll go get the cultivator next. Pressure washer needs to get ordered and delivered too. Yeah, the side mirror is not even useful with that monitor. I need to stop talking about the monitor, guys. All right, backing up, hook up to this, and loop around to this other bay for this one, but let's make sure we don't hit this baler there. I mean, these ones are so easy to back up. They're just, you know, they go where you tell them to go. Actually, we can leave this in here now. We'll jog on out to the John Deere. I mean, I wish I could turn my neck around like this in real life. Just gotta cruise backwards. There we go. We already added the solid fertilizer, so we're just taking this all in, and I don't think we'll back this up today. I think we'll just find somewhere to store this outside that's away from the road. Just cruise on into the silage pit. Seems like a good spot for me to store things. Shut it off, and that sun is setting. Beautiful day here in Poland. Got a lot done. Very happy with our progress. It's October in Poland, and we are going to be harvesting some buckwheat today. It looks like we're only getting about 66% yield on this, and we knew that was going to be the case. But welcome back to our beginning of what I think is going to be a world tour. Not sure if we mentioned that last episode, but I am enjoying looking at and playing these European maps and just mixing it up, and I'm starting to, you know, kind of do an inventory of different areas of the world that I want to visit long term. So this should be exciting, should be fun stuff. Let's go ahead and get this harvest started. Not sure if this drops straw. We'll give it a shot. It does not. Good to know. So buckwheat will be all by itself, just a quick little harvest here. Decent sized field compared to the other one. So this, I believe, is our largest field now. So we're gonna wanna get this harvested and then take a look at the crop types, you know, and potentially figure out what we want to plant here. We'll check on our rye field that we planted last episode, and we got a couple other ones that we did prep that we're going to want to potentially get planted, but we'll be taking a look today and figuring out exactly how we want to plan the rest of the planting season. Do we want to wait for spring to get a few of these fields prepped, or do we want to get them all planted here in the fall? We're almost to winter, actually, so. But yeah, looking at a 70% to 60% yield bonus on here. Not going to get a lot of buckwheat out of this field, but we'll try to improve it and get the yield better next time around. Yield bonus is looking much better up here towards this part of the field where we're getting 83%. It's in the yellow at least. But it looks like we do have some weeds growing in our rye field, so we'll have to take a look at that later on. Tempted to buy this one next to us. We might see, I don't know, I don't want to get too many fields. I was gonna say, it's tempting. We have the funds for it, but we're probably gonna do some equipment upgrades with our money. So about halfway through a headland, only 24% done. It looks like we will, well, it'll be close. We should be able to do both of these headlands without having to unload, and then we'll get a grain cart over here. Probably we'll have a worker finish the harvest while we start looking at these other things so we can make a little bit more progress than we did last episode. I want to move a little bit quicker through some of this stuff, so let's get these headlands done. And coming up to the last pass of the headlands here, we're about to turn back up the field. I was thinking last night about these maps and how this one's, you know, it doesn't have mountains, but it doesn't feel like it's an incomplete map. Like some of the US maps that are flat, when you look out in the distance, it just doesn't feel real. Now this one has such a wide, I guess, skybox or viewport. I don't know what the right word is for it, but the detail out there, like behind us, all of those buildings that we can't even get to, just add to it. So it looks like the horizon just goes forever. I'm blown away by this map, guys. I can't believe I've missed it, but almost done here. We're about 71% full. We'll have to get a grain cart over here and start getting a lot more done. And I haven't even looked at the price. Let's do that right now. I think we can get to the end without worrying about filling up. We go to buckwheat. The prices are, yeah, they go up to, they're almost good. So December is when we'll get to sell, and they'll peak around 1,700. But right now we're about $120, $130 away from that at the Hendricks FSSWU, apparently. So that's something we'll be doing. And then our spelt, we want to sell in January. It's about $300 away from the max price for that. But, you know, with just that, we have $18,000 in goods, but we'll get more here with the buckwheat. And I think what I want to do is let's go ahead and switch this to a regular worker now, and we'll let them just do whatever they want to do. And then we're going to hop over here. Do we have that other trailer here? Let's look on the map. Yeah, all right, let's go pick that up so we don't have to worry about reconfiguring anything, and probably be full by the time we get back. Yeah, we'll have to take care of these weeds today. We'll get the other fields, those 2 fields that we prepped, planted today, and then yeah, we'll make those decisions after the harvest. But I think we're going to get this unloaded, and then we're going to take a look at the crop types in the calendar again and make a plan. You know, these smaller grain trailers might work just fine with these type of fields. So let's hook up to this one. We'll get back over there, test it out. As long as it completely unloads the harvester, I think we'll be fine. Let's back up and hook up to it. There we go. And I was who closed the gates? Who closed the gates? I was wanting to ask you guys what type of equipment we should buy. Like if we buy a new tractor, I was thinking get a fence, but would love some community feedback. And other types of maybe implements that we might need, like certain brands we should focus on. I did a little bit of research. It seems like fence is pretty popular here. And John Deere is somewhat upcoming in Poland, according to the search I did, but I want to stay away from the American brands as much as possible in this series. Gonna have a wreck here. Ooh, they got, okay. They were trying to overtake us, and then I think they changed their minds. All right, looks like they are stopped and waiting. And I don't remember if we have crop destruction on. We do have crop destruction on. Okay, we will have to take over that and move them a little bit. We'll probably start using course play because they will do the right thing when on course play. But we should be able to just back up to this if we can fit without damaging crops. I think we're somewhat successful there. So 8,000, I believe, was in the harvester. Let's see. I think this cart holds 8,000, so this should be perfect. Yeah, perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and close that. We will hand this back over to our employee, and they should be able to finish that harvest without being unloaded again, is my guess. But let's go ahead and get this moved into the grain silo. And then we'll take a look at the calendar. I think we can take this side of the bunker silo and then take a right. Yeah, and it leads right to it. I do like where we put the silo. I think that worked out nice. Pretty good. And the field, yeah, this field proximity is perfect too. Right there. All right, let's just pull into the grass field for a second. And let's take a look at the calendar. Well, planning things out, 56 we did put rye in. So we'll have 57 to replant. Then we have 67 and 63. They are smaller fields. So let's look at the calendar now. We have barley that we could plant this month, clover, field grass, mustard. I think I might do mustard in one of these. And rye we still could. Spelt. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, no, actually, let's switch this. Let's move this to the grain cart. All right, we're gonna hop in here, detach this, get it out of the way for the John Deere to take over doing the grain cart. Actually, we'll just kind of leave that for now. We'll attach when we need to. But let's grab the seeder, and we're gonna get on over to one of the smaller fields and get some mustard planted. And I'm going to make sure there's no fertilizer in here because I'm gonna just spray. So I think that will be a more affordable way to do fertilizer with this seeder. Just time consuming too because of the how many times we had to refill it. And we're gonna risk the amount of seed we have. But let's get out here. I need to unload the fertilizer. And then, yes, it took the rye first. So let's switch this to mustard. And let's head on over and we'll do that, the bigger, actually we might just do both of them with mustard here. Both of those smaller fields. And then we'll take care of the weeds on all three at the same time. And then I think the buckwheat field, we'll take a look at some of the spring crops that are unique to this map. I guess it's not necessarily this map, but non-default crop types for Farming Simulator. We'll put another one of them in 57 there. When they're blinking already, there's no way. It's got to be fine to finish that harvest. Oh, let's slow down. That was almost bad. There we go. All right, so we can see our field up there with the lime on it, so that's where we're headed. And we are getting some mustard in the ground for the first time ever. This is cool. Like seeing these different crop types. We'll see how this crop looks when it grows. That's the interesting part to me. And I'm 99% sure we have the right header for this, so we should be good. I did double check that before last episode. It seems like all of these custom types are gonna work with our grain header that we have. And just 7 miles an hour is just perfect for this small field. We'll get this done pretty quick. And we'll pay attention to the harvest. I think we're gonna be able, like I said, let them finish, and then just when we get a chance to come back to it, we'll be able to unload them and put them away for the winter. Heading back down this way. Yeah, just a little mustard harvest we'll have here, and then that field right through the forest or the trees there. I think it's time to get focused and get her done. All right, finishing up this first field here. We have 270-ish liters left here. I think it's gonna be enough for this other small field. And like I said, we'll have these two twin tiny fields to harvest some mustard. And I think we can sneak right here. Yeah, the creek's pretty dry right now. Should be able to just get on over here. I think what we're going to do with this field is we are going to have a worker take care of this for us. Like I said, I want to get through this stuff a little bit quicker than we were. So we'll let them go. They might run out of seed. They may not. But we need to hook up to this trailer now. And I'm guessing they're done with the harvest. Looks good. Everything's harvested. Looking real consistent out here. Now, I don't remember if the workers will open this up or if I have to do it. Oh, it looks like the worker left. Okay, let's hop on in here. And how did we do? We didn't pull far enough forward. There we go. Just under another full harvester there. Not terrible for, you know, only a 60% bonus that we had in this field. And like I said, we'll get it much better. Much better yield next time around. But 56 here is looking like it has some medium-sized weeds, so we'll have to get some herbicide for that. And that is done, so let's go ahead and we'll take the grain in first and we'll get the harvester moved. Might as well just stay off of the road if we can, and just cruising up to the silo. We'll take a look at our totals here, but I think it's gonna be, you know, obviously it's about 15, maybe, yeah, about maybe almost 15,000. I think it's gonna be at 14,000. 14,000 like 300, right? So we have 9,900 spelt, and we're gonna have 14,399. Let's see, let's find a place for this for now. I think right up against this wall is gonna work good for me for now. We'll do that. What I wanna do next is, well, we're gonna need the sprayer. So I'm gonna reconfigure, we're gonna head to the store. What we're gonna do, maybe we should put a shop here. Let's see what I have right now for mods for that. So it wouldn't fit bad there. Oh, we have the little 12,000. I think if we could, if we just overlap these things. Oops, can I get in there? We got right there. And then if I hit B, it should allow me to place this. And let's try to have it make sense in here. We'll go about right there. And we should be able to reconfigure everything ourselves now. But we do need to go to the store still to get some herbicide. You know, where do we want to store this stuff? So actually, we decided the liquid lime doesn't work for us. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use easy dev controls. We're gonna turn on delete object, and we should be able to just get rid of these three. I'm not sure if we're even ever gonna use this solid fertilizer, so I'm just gonna put it right here for now, out of the way. And then we'll get the other one off the trailer, and then we can reconfigure this. Ooh, it's strapped in. Gotta take care of that first. Maybe able to snag this off of there the way it's on there? I don't know if we're gonna. Or we can just push it off. That's comical. Well, okay, now that we have this here, I'm not too stressed about reconfiguring the grain cart. We can do that later, but I do want to come in here and go to the wheels, and I want, yes, the narrow tires on here. And we'll go ahead and get that upgraded. Spend $1,000 on that. So now we're gonna head in and buy some liquid fertilizer and herbicide and check on the field that we're planting right now. So we'll see you at that field, and then we'll head to the store. And the neighborhood cattle, looking good. All right, let's see how they're making progress over here. I'm hoping they have enough seed, but I wanted to check first before, since we're going to the store. And they're amazingly almost done. So we'll have to get some fertilizer put down on this field, and we'll try to adjust the size of the sprayer this time around and see if we can be more efficient and not waste as much. I did notice that during editing last episode that I probably could have adjusted the width, but we're way ahead, guys. Episode 1 came out already and episode 2 hasn't, so I was doing a little recording ahead, so if I did get comments about that, yes, we were wasting. And I do have things back to dollars and miles per hour. I thought it would persist over a save file and not the entire game, since it was in the individual game where I adjusted it. So yeah, we're just gonna keep it at this. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and go in here. How you doing? All right, so we need liquid materials here. So liquid fertilizer, I'm gonna buy 2 just to have it. I think we're gonna probably need it, but herbicide, I'm gonna go with just 1. And we'll come back and get more if we need to. Oh, delivery fees. I forgot we had that. Ah, gosh dang it. Okay, well, you know, we had good intentions. Oh, there's a deer in the road, guys. Oh, I hope it runs. There it goes. Okay. Whew. And we're just gonna, oh, we gotta go on the other side. We're gonna put our header trailer away and the combine, get it all packed up for the winter. We do need to get a pressure washer over here. We will do that today. Make sure everything is in tip-top shape when we put it away for winter. But next we want to move, we're going to use this just to move the sprayer out to the John Deere real quick. I just feel like it was lifting a little bit, so we're going to use the John Deere this time instead. But we'll deliver it for him. And the liquid lime we will just empty out with easy dev controls, because we don't want to keep it. All right, I guess we're doing fertilizer first. So there's 1,200 liters. Yeah, I can't bring that with me. We'll get that other trailer, or the other tractor hooked up to that. I tried to do the herbicide first, but a little trigger happy there. I guess I could unload it, but let's go ahead and head to the other fields. We'll do fertilizer on the 2 fields, and then we'll do herbicide on all 3. And we shouldn't see any pesky dead weeds in the other 2 fields. And then we're gonna quickly get to November, and that might just wait till spring. Yeah, we still got to look at that. We're going to zoom out as far as we can here so we can try to be super efficient. I'm not even going to use guidelines. We're just going to do this ourselves. So let's back up all the way and get that activated. Yeah, fertilizer is changing. Perfect. We can see that on the mini map. Wasting a little bit on the right side there, but not terrible. And as we creep up to the top of the field here, we will have a full width of the field eventually. And this is where I want to stop. I think we just have too many. Maybe this one can't adjust, but I swear it could. Unload, fold, toggle, just too many help options to where it's not showing up. Oh well. Oh well. Rather just get it done. And you can see by using hardly any on this field, I really think that cedar, the Great Plains, is using a little too much. Oh, look at that. Precision farming's doing it for us. Lovely. Look at that. That's why we don't see those options. Oh, I'll take that all day long. Yeah, like I was saying, I think the cedar was burning through a little too much fertilizer than it needed to. 89 seed left. Not too bad at all. And while we're in this, we might as well take it home. So I'll see you in a second. And now that we know that for this field, we're just going to go all the way to the left. And then we'll do the other side and not really worry about centering it like I was gonna do. But yeah, that's so cool. It is just using the nozzles it needs to use on the sprayer, so we're not even wasting it all. Well done. So you don't even have to shut it off in between passes. You just kind of leave it on and then cruise forward. Just lovely. No waste here. So as I typically do, we bought way too much fertilizer. And away we go, taking care of the weeds here. Just killing them. And we'll get all 3 of these fields done. And I'm hoping, I think we do have plenty of herbicide for this, so not too bad. I think we will do a quick little time lapse of all 3 fields. And I'll see you at the end.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what
And just a quick little herbicide session. Got all 3 fields done. Should be good. No more weeds. Shouldn't see any in these 2 fields. And we'll get this equipment home, get everything cleaned up. I'm probably gonna get that pressure washer ordered. And then it's time to make a little bit of cash off of our crops. All right, get this sprayed down, taken care of, and put away for the winter. And the header as well, it was pretty filthy. We got these to take care of as well. We might make some changes to the equipment come spring. We got the seeder already. We can't forget about the cultivator. Got to get that cleaned as well. All right, prices are pretty good for the buckwheat. That's not the one I wanted. Let's close that. Let's go ahead and just open the one we need. And hop in the John Deere. We're gonna get this reconfigured as a grain cart so that we can sell the buckwheat. And we will go with the, well, this one goes a lot bigger if we spent the extra money. Cover doesn't cost any more. You can add a second trailer to it long term. Yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade that. I mean, I don't think we'll use that much capacity, but we had the money. You know, just slowly back out of here so we don't lose it. Seems to be going pretty good. All right, we should be able to turn around now. Yep, just like that. All right, we do have the place tagged. I don't think we've been there yet, but we're gonna make our way over to the silo, get all our buckwheat, and get it sold. 14,000, almost 15,000 liters of buckwheat going in the trailer. So yeah, I guess that would have just put us over the max. I think it was 14,000 for the other one. All right, so we're heading in that direction. We'll have to take the main road here. So we might as well loop back around. Are we struggling? Yeah, this might be a little too big of a trailer now for the John Deere, but it's getting up to speed. And we're just gonna take a peek at our mustard here. Oh, that's nice. Very cool. I mean, maybe we don't harvest it the way I think we do. We'll find out though. Awesome, I love that color. It looks like this is near the dealership. Yeah, so I think we're gonna want to take that same road that we take to get to the dealership. Yield to this vehicle here. There we go. It is struggling a little bit, so it might look into getting something else for transportation. Yeah, we just don't have strong enough tractors. All right, here we are, selling buckwheat. $25,000 in harvest income. Our environmental score must be no positive, no negative. I mean, we could do like the lizard dragon here, but I don't know. Can grain go in there? Yeah, grain can go in there. Only 3,500 though. But you could get the big one for it's only 70. That's crazy. There's no way that thing should hold more than that. But this is kind of nice to be able to reconfigure it. You could add a trailer hitch as well. But I feel like that should be able to hold more grain. So what you could do is go with just this version and pull the trailer with it. And then this could be your bale. Yeah, that could be our bale trailer. Let's go ahead and buy that. Oh, I guess it is kind of small. I guess the size was right. Now, I don't remember. Do I have follow me in this mod pack? Yes. Okay, so we'll have them follow us home. She will drive the John Deere. And we'll drive the new Dragon here. And it doesn't work. It's not the right type of hitch, this game. Oh, man. All right, well, we'll reconfigure this thing in the morning. Maybe this will just be our bale trailer moving forward. The bale, yeah. Oh, well. As the crow flies. Massey Ferguson MF. Okay, what about this one? Only 155 horsepower. We could upgrade it to up to 210, it looks like. Not a bad option. We'll keep that in mind. And we're paying attention to prices climbing. It looks like the FIT Plone is where we're gonna go, if I said that right. And prices are officially above peak price, so we are going to tag that location and get our spelt on. All right, I see the route. We're gonna head to the left. Once we leave our property, we're gonna head to the right. I think this is that location we sold. I already forgot what the first crop was we did, but the first time we sold a crop, I think, is where we're going. But I think I do have a plan. I was looking at the available productions. We may be buying the flour mill, because the rye can get turned into flour, and it would be a way for us to make a little bit more cash off of it. And then buckwheat as well, we might plant in spring in the other field, even though it was in there before. You know, let's look at that real quick. So rye flour and spelt flour just turns into regular flour though. Available. Let's go visit this. All right, here we are. Do we have enough money? We don't. We could lease it, but I don't think I want to do that. All right, maybe that's our goal. Maybe we want to become a flour producer, since it looked like there is multiple of the crop types that we could use in there. I think it's up to 3 of them. Yeah, let's take a look. So we could have the buckwheat could turn into flour, and then it looks like we could also turn it into groats. Interesting. And then we have the rye flour, the spelt flour, and the triticle. I don't know how to say that, guys. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's the plan. So we need $288,000. Not gonna get that this year, but I think I'm gonna make that the official goal of this playthrough, is to have the flour, the grain flour, the flour mill, and make a profit off of it. Oh, there's the place there. Okay, this is a different one. It's the same area, but a different sales place, sales point. And there we go. All right, let's see how close this gets us. I think I do have, well, I probably should have done it before selling this, but we'll see. I think I was gonna sell a property, but I don't think I want to cheese it that way. I do like both of those properties. And, you know, we're not too far off. So hopefully next harvest, we'll have enough income to be able to purchase our flour mill. And I think what we're gonna do is get the, buckwheat field cultivated and prepped so that I want to get us to the point where the second spring hits, all we have to do is put lime on it and plant. So away we go, ripping up the ground. I think what I'm going to do is all the headlands on this side, because seems to be a way I like doing it. We get the headlands done, or the end rows here, and then we can just do ups and downs. I mean, this is one that we could have just done ups and downs and potentially got away with, but there is this field back here. That looks like a decent sized field, actually, number 60. And I am completely ignoring the fact that we have this grass lot. It's just not big enough for us to make a difference if we actually harvested it. We cut it and tried to make money off of it. It's just so tiny. And what we do, instead of, you know, not cultivating on our way to the other side of the field, we'll just do this pass right here. Should be fun. We shouldn't be too far off from being able to get that flour mill. And I'm gonna take a look at this field specifically, something we can plant early. February we could do some things, but nothing we would want. We could do barley and flip barley real quick, or we could do spelt, and I think that's what we will do in this field, and we will plant that in March. All right, and like we just mentioned, we'll start ripping the ground up on the end rows on this side, and then we'll get to those ups and downs, and hopefully the snowstorm coming shouldn't be too bad. I think it'll be pretty light here in Poland. It is spring, and we are working on getting a crop planted, and Google is telling me it's triticale, but I don't know if that's really how it's pronounced. Let me know. But we're getting it in the ground here. It looks like it's similar to wheat and barley, another crop like that. So we will be hopefully putting that in a flour mill eventually. And it looks like the pH is showing up even though we are planting without fertilizer. So I'm not sure why the mini map shows that, but you can see pH is looking really good in this field, not showing us the seed going down and the fertilizer because we have no solid fertilizer in here. We're going to do the same thing we did with the other field where we're going to, or the other two small fields this episode, we're going to spray those fields with fertilizer after planting. Like I said, I think that's more, ooh, why does it lift? Like I said, I think that is a more financially responsible way to do it since this seeder was just burning through the fertilizer way too fast and we had to stop multiple times. So gonna try to do this without doing the end rows like we just did. I think there might be, yeah, there's no tree in the way. We'll just have to be safe turning around in the road. But after today, we should be ready to just kind of wait till all of our crops are ready to harvest. Well, I just found a video of some farmers in Ohio that all pronounce it differently. Triticale. We're gonna go with triticale. That seems to be the English, the American English phonetic way of saying it, in my opinion. So we're gonna go with that one. But almost done here. We got, you know, skipping rows based off of the turning radius of the tractor and implement, going pretty good here, and doing 17 miles per hour. A little too fast probably, but I'm itching to get to these harvests. I want to get that grain mill. I do. We'll see what happens. The last pass of triticale going in the ground. We're going to do the fertilizer and herbicide next. I think we'll probably do herbicide first because I think that is still loaded in the sprayer. So we'll go over the field with that and then swap it out for this liquid fertilizer. And at that point, all 4 of our fields are just going to be waiting to grow and be harvested. I don't think we're going to touch the grass field. Just have to rent or buy more equipment than we would make money from. It's just a pretty yard for us on our property. You know, I was thinking through that truck that we bought last month or a couple months ago, and is it a waste of money? And it potentially is, but I think once we get the flour mill, we'll definitely get enough use out of it, moving the flour pallets around. So I think we'll keep it. I was debating selling it to fund buying the flour mill, but I think it'll still be needed. Well, 296. Maybe we should put a little bit more in here. We have the pallet. I think it's the last one. Yes. So just to be safe, we'll back up to it here. And there we go. Get another almost full load, but that should be more than enough. Let's get back out to the field. We're going to get these 2 sessions done. And at that point, we'll take a break until harvest. And away we go. Looks like it will end up being 3 passes on this field. And let's see if that shows up, that option. I think it has to do with Z and shift or something, but I think we'll be fine. We're going a little too fast for this, so. All right. 2 more jobs, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, we got through quite a bit of time in today's episode. We are finishing getting the fertilizer laid down here. Everything is set to just relax and grow until summer. Today we are going to do our rye harvest. We're getting everything ready. We're actually going to get through all the harvests for this year in today's episode. We're getting our grain cart all set up here. Gonna get it out to the field. The harvester is already prepped, but we've also made the decision we're not going to do cattle in this playthrough. We're going to focus on that flour mill once we can purchase it, as we talked about last episode. We can see that our crop is coming in here real good. This is the triticale, so that's coming in nice. We have the mustard that's close to being ready to be harvested. And yeah, and the rye here. So those are our 4 fields, but before we actually get this started here, we got everything prepped. let's take a look at some things we can sell. So we're not going to need the manure spreader because we're not going to have manure. So let's go ahead and sell that for $23,000. We're not going to need the slurry spreader. We can sell that for $23,000. And we're so close. We are so close. What else is there that we just don't? Oh, we don't need the water tank. 18,000. Without having to sell our other property, that right there has got us the money. And before we start the harvest, we're going to jump in the truck and we're going to take a little drive and get that purchased. I think we will need, well, we have the John Deere for its forks. I was gonna say we need a forklift, but if we have the John Deere, there's gonna be no reason for that. We can just keep that over there when we need to. And this truck's probably gonna stay in that area as well because it's gonna be used for, well, we might do some baling for some extra cash too. So those are things to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and just, head that way and I'll see you at the flour mill. I think we went the wrong way. We wanna go back this way. Keep calling it a flour mill. It is a grain mill technically, but the output is flour, so that's why I call it that. Yeah, I know some people aren't a big fan of the in-cab driving, and this is, we'll probably do a mixture of it in other series, but definitely gonna stay true to that in this playthrough. We haven't been showing in-cab when we're doing much work on the fields, so I think it's a good mixture here. It's just a nice way to play the game in my opinion. Makes it feel a little more realistic to me, going 55 on a dirt road. We'll slow down. All right, we have arrived. So this was the place that we were selling things. The first harvest we had. $288,000. It is now ours. We have $11,000 left over. Yeah, I can't see you good. Can't see you good right there. We're just gonna put this right here for now. And harvest is officially started and we are dropping some swath here. Some straw. So while that is going, we are gonna grab the John Deere. We're gonna start making those bales. Gonna multitask here. And once we have a decent amount in the grain cart, there's no reason to not get it over to the flour mill, the grain mill. So that's definitely something we'll be keeping them focused on and paying attention to as we do these harvests. And I believe the mustard one will be next. All right, getting on the field here to start making some bales. Should just be, regular straw. So we'll get to sell these. And yeah, the John Deere's gonna struggle a little bit, but I definitely wanted more power on the grain cart once that gets extra weight on it for driving around, though thinking through it here, might not be the best choice. And we're missing a little bit, so let's get over to the left, try to get centered on this swath. And this is something that cab view definitely helps for, but don't necessarily need to do that. And we'll try to, oh, they doing no headlands? I thought I set it up for one, but that's why it's gonna struggle. Yeah, we gotta reconfigure that. But we need to get out of their way. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people that were really annoyed by that little bit of straw on the dirt road. It's gone now. Oh, is this gonna be one of those where this thing's gonna be blocked by the ground? Oh, the bale. That'll do it. All right, let's get her done. We're all set up. It's just time to get the work done. All right, this bale should be safe where we're gonna probably need to move it as well. So I'm gonna shut this off. We're gonna detach. We're gonna get those bales out of the way. Try not to drive on our other field here. But we do have 2 bales right now that might end up being problematic. And I need to adjust the settings so they don't do the rounded corners because we're losing a lot during harvest with course play here. But that's all right. Go ahead and just snag this. Get it out of the way for now. This would probably work better if we swapped out the tires, but I think we're okay. I think we're okay. And ideally, we are falling a little bit behind the harvester, and that was somewhat by design here. All right, those are out of the way and safe for the harvester to keep on doing its job. Let's get hooked back up and continue baling. Before we do that, they looks like they are full, but I wanted to take a look at the yield we're getting. 120%. We did something right. And sneaking through here to get them unloaded, we went around, I know it was a different crop type, but we went around the headland and started doing ups and downs last harvest before the combine filled up. This is looking much better. A little over half the headland done here. Almost the full headland, honestly, but much better yield. We can see the grain mill. It's right back there in the background, so it's not very far. Once this is unloaded, we are going to take this $8,000 or 8,000 liters over there to get the process going. Not sure how much flour we're going to get, but I did mention that I want to be able to make a profit from it. So we'll be paying attention to how much flour we sell, and we're going to keep going until we make $288,000 of flour at minimum. Yeah, only going to be able to go 22. It would have been a lot slower in the John Deere. We are getting up to a little bit quicker speed. Loving it, multitasking. All right, this barely fits under here. I think we'll do the grain door just because that would make a lot more sense. So let's get that changed. Yeah, right there. Let's take a, oh, it does still tip. So that doesn't make any sense then. And it should be rye flour that we want to activate. And we didn't plant more buckwheat. We did the triticule. So we will be selling the mustard because it doesn't go in here. And then next cycle, we'll definitely add to what we're producing and make sure that we're putting crops in that are going to all go to the flour mill. Exciting. We should get a little bit of flour out of that, but we still have more to harvest. And the two biggest fields will bring in goods for the flour mill this time around. And unloading on the go here, just giving them some time so we can focus on baling after we get this done. So let's finish this pass and we'll get back to baling. I'll see you in a little bit. I think they're just about going to be full here, and you gotta love when the AI system causes traffic jams. We got a standoff here. It's been there for a little bit. I don't know how long it takes them to time out, but we're gonna find out. And they're almost in the way of the harvester there too, so looking okay now. But yeah, gosh, not sure what that car was thinking, causing a huge little traffic jam, and they're just at this point being stubborn. And the grain cart is full. About halfway done at this point, so nice to see. We're gonna be at another like about 12,000, no, well, you know, 14,000 liters almost to go over to the flour mill eventually. And we can go ahead and unload right here. I don't think they're gonna continue. I think since they're full, they're gonna just stay here. Yep, and then we'll, oh, nope. Nope. Let's turn around so we can help them out. Course play, proving me wrong. I do think they did the right thing. But this time they should get to the end of this headland, or this pass, and then we should be able to finish unloading them. Yep, there they go. We'll cruise forward with them. And then, you know, if they continue, they're being silly, but we'll see what they do here. Perfect. No reason to rush this to the grain mill yet. If we fill up this grain cart all the way, we'll do that at that point. And back to baling. Not bad. We're going to save that bottom pass there to the end so that there's no bales in the way. But we're not, you know, too far from catching up, and I think we are going a little bit quicker, except for when we slow down to unload, so we might end up catching up before the end of the harvest. Yeah, I feel like this is a good time to swap back to the grain cart and get them unloaded. Yeah, a little bit more powerful equipment would be nice. This is even struggling with this weight, which we were concerned about, and they did fill up back there. Okay. Yeah, only being able to go 7. John Deere would have been struggling even more. So that's why we're struggling on the John Deere on the baler. Just a little underpowered with everything we got running here, but we're getting by. Just takes a little bit longer to do things. And I'm hoping this allows them to finish. Though it may, well, us going forward should. We'll see. All right, we got a little bit more room in there. So I think we'll just keep baling. And then once we get that to 100%, like I said, we'll take it in. But making good time with everything. Harvester is doing the last pass as we are slowly catching up here, and I think we're gonna be good for them to finish, and then they might have, yeah, they have a little strip yet to do, so we probably need to get that bale out of the way, and they're about to be full also. So we will be heading to the grain mill here in a moment. Let's go ahead and switch back here. Yeah, when we pull it this way is really when it struggles. There we go. All right, we're definitely just going to get this to 100% because we're not going to be able to completely unload them, but I think we'll be able to give them enough relief to finish the harvest. And we'll make sure the John Deere is out of the way before we head to the grain mill because I think it is going to be in the way when they turn around. Oh, it shouldn't be. And 100. All right, so 28,000 liters, and we already took 8 over there. So that's what, 36,000? Not sure exactly how much flour that's going to turn into, but it's a good start. Got this field to the left also is our biggest field that's going to be all utilized for flour. If we're able to make it there. All right, how's this thing lining up? They are going that way, okay. Try to push this strategically out of the way here. Like so. And they should be clear. Yeah, they're clear of the John Deere. All right, let's head in. Seems like a pretty good yield for that field compared to what we had last time. I think we're at like, what, 50 or 60%, so we definitely doubled it. And they are done. Calling for us to unload. We'll have to head back there and do it. Nice to see our bales and everything over there. Okay, while that unloads, we're gonna go grab this truck that we shouldn't have left over here, and we're gonna set it up on follow me so it can get back for loading the bales. Not sure about this spot. Should work though. We can just leave that there for now. Take this over. This isn't gonna be helpful. We're gonna use the other trailer. We're gonna reconfigure the grain trailer. That's hilarious. Yeah, the mustard's almost ready. It's almost too bright. Like, we turn off reshade, it looks a little better, but yeah, that's like, it's hurting my eyes. So I think when we're over there, reshade's definitely getting shut off. Let's go ahead and finish the baling, and then we will worry about the bales. So it's another 4,000 liters. So we did over 40,000 liters in rye. I think that's pretty good for this small field. Actually pretty blown away. I think we did great. Having that 120% yield bonus definitely helped. Oh, there's flour. Look at that. We've already produced some extra fine premium flour. And that used about 2,000 or about 1,500 liters. So roughly 30,000 liters of flour we're gonna get, which at its peak sell for 2,600. So doing a little math there, we need a lot more flour, or a lot more grain, to get the goal of $288,000 worth of flour. So I did mention in the beginning, if I didn't edit it out, we're not gonna do every harvest. I don't wanna rush it. I wanna make sure we give the right time to this, and we're gonna get through the mustard harvest next. Possibly get some cultivation going on this field so we can start prepping it. We'll probably want to get it planted in August. We're going to want to look at the calendar again for that though, maybe August or September. But heading in to reconfigure this so it can handle the bales for us. That truck might get sold too. That was a mistake. All right, we're going to make a little bit of money right now. I did get all the bales moved out of the way, and then I checked. The prices are good. We are going to use autoload here. And unfortunately, this is all it's taking in one trip. So it's going to be a little bit of a commute back and forth all the way to Katie's place. Probably give you an update when we're done. Definitely seems like this is a time when being lazy is going to cost us more trips instead of loading them manually, you know? But here's the first time selling it. We'll show you the amount here, and then we'll go get the rest. So 6,500 plus, we're getting an environmental score bonus now of $239. We got, I think, 4 more trips that we're gonna have to make, so I'll see you in a little bit. I have to see this. Is this like a hobbit house? What the heck is that? It's like a bunker? It's a hobbit house. That made my day. Is that what this is too, or is this just a mound? That's just a mound, it looks like. Crazy. There is a place that is a lot closer that we're gonna attempt to go to. That's just a couple dollars less per 1,000 liters. So I think we're gonna hop the creek here and be able to just, oh, there was a bridge right there. We'll use the bridge next time. And this is a grass field on both sides, so it shouldn't be too bad to drive in. We can see the location we're headed to now. That'll be much quicker. Save some diesel. Might make up the difference in the cost. All right, nice little bale sales location here. Yeah, about the same amount of money, not bad. Let's take the legitimate route home here. I don't think we've been to this part of the map. Pretty sweet. And that field back there had a little pond in it too. So if we come here and turn to the right, that'll take us back towards our farm. And then the road we should have taken is this dirt road up here. Instead of cutting through like we did, and we can get back over there that way. Nice. Yeah, I'll give you a decent look at the map over here. I love all the props with the bales everywhere. Well done. And the last 4 bales here. Maybe. There we go. We're up to 33,000 bucks. It's not going to count towards that 288 that we were talking about though. Like this would drive me nuts if this was my field. Oh man. Well, property maintenance of 1,600 a month ate into our balance, but we really don't have much to buy right now, so I think that's all right. We're going to get cultivation going with a worker here. We're going to take the John Deere over to the mustard fields, and we're going to get harvesting going on that. AI worker is all set there. I mean, we were struggling either way, so I think I'd rather have this set up on the cultivator and us take the grain cart and struggle with it ourselves here. Starting to be my favorite way of connecting implements. All right, let's look forward here. Okay, we'll see ya at the mustard fields. So this seems like the right size of a harvest that I'm just gonna put the cart over here next to the field. We're gonna do the harvest ourselves. And I just, unless mustard yields an insane amount, we're not going to fill up that cart. But pretty cool doing a new crop type here. And looks like we do not have a swath dropping for straw, so a little less to do on this field. So just the mustard. And we'll check prices. We're getting, you know, we knew this wasn't a great field. So we're still only getting 88% yield here. And the lime was messed up, because we used liquid lime and it wouldn't allow us to apply the solid lime afterwards. So next time around on this field, we should get it in the green and not yellow, at least a little bit of green. But let's get this done. And just a little skinny pass to do here. We didn't even come close to filling up the combine, which I thought would be the case here. So after we get this pass done, we'll get it unloaded and figure out if we're going to sell it or store it momentarily. All right, official number is 4,329 liters of mustard. All right, getting that unloaded. Let's take a look at prices. And here's mustard. It looks like we are going to store it. It is $500. $500 per 1,000 liters. So we would lose about 20,000 bucks here. A little bit more than that if we sold it now. No, $2,000. Just 2,000. Just 2,000. But still, every dollar counts. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this put away. We're gonna finish cultivating if they're not already. What is happening, everyone? We are back in Poland. We've got a lot to talk about. This field you may not recognize. It wasn't ours last episode. It is now. Let's take a look at the map and start talking about that. We did sell property 65 for a good amount of money. I sold 67 and 63 as well. We wanted to consolidate the fields that we had closer to the farm. So we do have 39. It just happened to have spelts in it. So we're going to harvest it. So we're going to get that going. And we have a lot of other things we're doing here. We can see we got a couple of our tractors. How's it going, man? At the sales location. So let's go ahead and hop in here. And we are going to start repairing some of these things and selling them that we're just not going to use for the rest of this playthrough. I think we're going to keep the, well, we're going to check that later. We're not going to sell the Quick yet, but we are going to sell this tractor for $47,000. We're going to sell this Farm Tech because we don't need it for $7,000. We're not going to use the plow, so that'll give us $11,000. And the John Deere, well, let's go ahead and repair that first. Get a little bit of extra cash for it. $33,000 there. And we'll leave that here because we might use it. But making all of these changes because I'm eyeing this Fendt tractor here. We're gonna go with the 926. That will give us 260 horsepower. And I'm gonna make a few changes here. I'm gonna add the Icera Pro Compact and the front PTO as well, just in case. We're gonna add reflectors, LEDs, warning signs, the stainless steel pipe there for the exhaust. And I think that'll do it for $108,000. So that leaves us with $49,000 in our account. So this will be our biggest tractor now, and we've got a Fendt. I love it. I love this old school look of it. The Favret, is that how you say that? Favret? So we'll get this home. I did get a couple comments saying that the cab driving was making people sick, so I think we are gonna go ahead and scratch that. I might do it every once in a while, but it won't be very often moving forward. But today we're gonna finish the harvest. We're gonna get through a good amount of the rest of year 2 here. Try to get everything replanted. So we're down to 3 fields now. We have one of them harvested. We have some leftover mustard from those small fields that we sold, so that'll be good to sell in December. But then we have another field to harvest as well next month in September. But we're gonna wanna start getting these fields flipped as well. We do have some flour that I noticed is at a good price, so we're gonna get that sold today. I do have a good amount of it already preloaded on the truck, so we're gonna get back over here. We're gonna double check and see if they need to be unloaded before we head on over to the flour mill to start selling some flour. And it's gonna be a long drive, so we're gonna have this harvest going while we go back and forth with selling a little bit of flour that we have. I think we have about 8,000 liters to sell, so 8 pallets. And they're going good. We're not doing straw. I think we might end up selling the baler as well and just kind of focus on the crops just so we can move a little bit quicker. I think we might do that and give us a little bit more cash. But you can see this field was cultivated and done, all set, ready to go. And we're not gonna have a job for the Fendt for a little bit. We're gonna get them to pretty much instantly cultivate that field, but we gotta get a decent head start before we can do that. So we'll get over here, we'll grab the cultivator, we're gonna get it closer to where it needs to be, and then we'll head over to that flour mill. Beautiful tractor. And I think we'll just park it by the road here for a moment until it's time to use it. Jumping in the harvester here, 21% going around the headland. Terrible yield on this field that we just got. We did get the soil types all set here. So we can see here we do have some silty clay, a little bit of sandy loam. So not the best yield on this field. We can get 100% on it, so not too terrible. But we're gonna take the Dragon on over to sell some flour. And we have 4 more there. There might be a 5th one that spawns between now and then, but prices were good. I didn't double check, but I have a feeling flour's not gonna fluctuate much on this map, so we might be able to just sell it right away. But we are trying to make $288,000 selling flour to end this series, so that's where the money starts to matter, and we'll start keeping track of that as it happens. So I believe we're gonna have about $20,000 worth, or pounds, depending on how we're looking at it, but we did switch back to dollars of flour here when we sell it for this time around. So that'll put us down to 268, but we'll keep track of the actual dollar amounts as we do sell it. So they're almost done with the first headland. We will help unload them as needed, but we should start flying through some progress here. 57 will be harvesting that field right there in September. Let's go make some money. This car passed us just to slow down. We're going a direction we haven't gone before, so we're gonna come up here and take a right on this next road and head on over to the location that is buying flour. And it's, I love it. It's part of the map we haven't seen. We're gonna hop into the cab just for this for a second. We'll go a little slow. Hopefully we don't make anyone sick. We got some cattle over here. We have some horses. Gorgeous. That's pretty sweet. All right, let's get this stuff sold. And taking another right. And we can see the building up here. It looks like a pretty big production building. I'm not sure exactly what they do in this area of town, that they need the flour. But I believe it's the first one we come to once we get into this little facility here. Yep, go ahead and cruise through here. It looks like another store location. Got some guys down here working on those pipes. Pretty cool. All right, I believe this is the place. And it is, so 10,029 and 198. Let's write that down. Keep track of that. Let's go get the rest of the flour and we'll update on the balance that we have left to complete this series once we get the rest of the flour that we have right now sold. And heading back with 5,000 liters, or 5,000 flour, I guess it does not say liters on there. And they're finishing up that second headland. I think we will pull over. We're gonna unload the harvester here before we head on in to get that sold. And this will be more product that gets to go to the grain mill. Looks like they're gonna do a little tiny up and down right here, a little tiny pass. But getting some spelts in here, we will be able to turn that into flour. And once we see that there's none in there and the number starts going up a little slower, we'll be able to just stop and let them continue. The yield's not great on here, and we definitely bought this field for the next harvest, not necessarily this one, but it will be a good amount of spelt to keep us going in the flour mill while we wait till next year when we have better yields. And we have, you know, another crop, I believe it's rye over here that we need to harvest. No, we did rye already, didn't we? I'm losing track. Let's hop out and see. Hop out right here. Oh, yes. Triticole, which will be fun to get that harvest going here next month. But heading back all the way to that store, and this will be all the flour we sell today. We'll let it build up a little bit more before we sell it again, even if the prices are good. I think we might want to look into... Oh, we remember we can't pull our trailer with this, which was a shame. I'll have to double check that. Our grain cart that we can turn into a bale trailer that would work with pallets. Some road rage right there. Someone trying to pass at the wrong time. All right, and this will not be the same dollar amounts as last time, so we will have to keep track here. All right, let's see. 12, 5, 3, 9, and 250. 288 was our starting amount. 288,000 brings it down to $264,987 is our goal to earn off of flour. And going pretty slow here, still just 800 liters. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty bad yield, but I think that's enough distance for me to want to pull this aside and we'll start cultivating. And we're probably going to be able to let this just finish that harvest at the rate it's going. So we're going to go back into this grass field. And I will switch on over to the brand new fence here. And away we go, starting to get it cultivated. We'll leave a little bit of crop there that just doesn't seem to be part of the field when we do the auto or the steering assist. So we'll just leave that as is because that'll work for us when we do it this way and with a worker. I think it's time to get focused and make some progress. Well, they're making good progress over there. I'm interested to see how much spelt is in there. And this field definitely should pay for itself after the next harvest, but maybe it won't. And we'll see. We'll see. It should be fine, though. Our focus is on making as much flour as possible, and that field absolutely is going to help us with that. But making good progress. We're going to do another pass here, and then I will check once they're going the right direction to unload, and would probably give them a little bit of relief at that point. But I wouldn't be surprised if they are able to finish this harvest without us unloading them. They are 77% full, I'm surprised, so I am going to try to catch up to them. Neighbors will have to forgive us here, but still a little underpowered even with this tractor pulling this cart. So I don't know if we're going to catch up in time to get them before they finish that pass. I got a little distracted there. Come on, we can get there. Come on, come on. They're 80% full. They need relief. It may have worked. No, it didn't. All right, we'll catch them on the other side. But making good progress, about halfway done with the cultivating already. Not doing any headlands, so just being able to drive in our neighbor's field and get it done with the ups and downs, which I love doing. Makes it a lot quicker. Yeah, they're gonna need unloaded here, so hopefully we'll get about, I don't know, 16,000 liters, but I don't know if we'll get quite that much. Get a little bit farther over. Here we go. Looks good. And we will definitely be able to wait till the end of the harvest to be able to take the grain back. Looks like they're gonna have 2 more passes after this. We should be able to quickly get to September momentarily. So 11,000 so far, probably be lucky to get another 1,000. But let's get out of the way of the cultivator for now and get back at it. We're cruising. And they are complete with the harvest, so we will go ahead and unload and get the grain moved over to the flour mill and get that total amount, which I always love to see. We'll be able to know what we're aiming to improve, but the yield was not very good here. We got a 62%, 3.5 tons per hectare, and only 1,000 more to add. Not the best harvest, but our next one should be a lot better. A field that we completely prepared. Just go ahead and get this somewhat close. You can see it's right there. And I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get this grain moved, get that production started. I think we might have spelt in there already. I think we have rye though, but we'll get spelt over there. And fuel's getting low on this tractor as well. We'll have to keep that in mind. I think I see a fuel station right in front of us, so we might go do that on the way there. $201, that's not terrible. All right, let's drop this off, get it activated for this type of flour, and no collision, so we should be good. Yeah, this is nice. We have rye in there, 26,000 liters still, and we'll be able to get the spelt activated there and running. We have made it to September, and I do want to do a little bit of this harvest myself here. It's a crop type we've never seen before yet, even though I have a feeling it's going to be very similar to some of the other ones that we've done. And away we go. Let's see what we're doing here. 120% yield. This is going to be awesome. Turning this yellow yield from last time into a dark green here. Still just now 8 tons per hectare. So not the best yield, but I think it'll turn out good. And looking at our production, we should have, a decent amount of flour over there, 2,000. The rye is still good. Spelt almost burnt all the way through, so we'll deactivate that in a little bit. So we did want to check on that. So things are looking good. Let's go ahead and get these headlands done. Make some progress. We got a worker taking care of the cultivating for us. We'll probably have to do the headlands at the end just because workers work that way. They're not doing the same thing we're doing. And then we'll get them on this one to do some cultivation. And we'll be ready to flip these fields for getting them planted here in late fall. And just under 50% full on the first headland, so we will be able to do the second one without unloading. Another traffic jam here. I don't know what's going on with these drivers in town. They're just road raging lately. See them back there just having a standoff. We'll keep on keeping on here. Getting plenty more grain to put into the grain mill. And just as we thought, 90-some% here, about 8,000 liters after doing the headlands. We'll have to see what the rate is, but that should turn into a decent amount of flour. Go ahead and get this unloaded and we'll get back to the harvest. And it looks like they're doing pretty good over here. I do want to hop over here and see if I can work headlands on. So they should do the headlands afterwards. And I think they'll do just the area that hasn't been done. We'll find out. But yeah, they're making good time. We got the speed override going, moving through this lovely, lovely pace. And back at the harvest, I'm wondering, it's going to be close, but I think we will need to unload one more time. Just kind of looking at this, it seems like we almost did half the field just by doing the headlands, so be interesting to see at the end. Looks like we are going to unload one more time, which is perfect, and we need it. We need as much material, as much grain as possible in the grain mill. So we'll get this to 100%, then we'll get the grain cart over here. We have a partial pass here that will be good to do. And they are working the headlands on the cultivation, so we'll get them over here after that. And we're going to have to lease something to do some lime next. Just kind of thinking ahead. We'll see if we have lime. I don't remember if we have any lime left over from last time. But getting these fields flipped this fall is definitely going to help us get to summer next year and make as much money as possible, as quick as possible on this grain mill. So 15,000 liters in there. We're going to finish this up. Hopefully we'll get another couple thousand here on the last pass. I'm not 100% sure what we will get. But you know how we find out? We get it done. And it was 1,600. Not terrible, not a ton. We'll take every little bit we can get. But the clause is done until year 3, which is really year 2. Wish they'd fix that. There we go, all unloaded. We'll take this home, then we're going to probably swap tractors and have the Fent deliver the grain while I forget what brand that is. While that tractor back there takes care of the cultivating. The same. I mean, almost perfect timing. There's a small spot over here that we are going to grab. I'm going to let the worker finish this, and then we will take over. Man, this thing feels so much more powerful than the other tractor. I love it. Great purchase. Sweet mod we found there. All right, just this last pass here, and we should be done. We'll be able to swap the tractors out. I think we'll be able to deliver quicker with the Fent. That's why I want to do that. Got to watch oncoming traffic, and then we should be able to just drop the cultivator here, swap them on out. We'll get the same going on the cultivating, and we'll drop the grain off, and we'll get our triticale flour all going as well. And away they go. Not sure where they're going to start with ups and downs, that's right. But let's see how much quicker this is to transport the grain. It already feels a lot more powerful, so I will see you over at the grain mill. And here we are. Got our truck back over here for when it's time to sell some more flour. Had a worker take care of that for us. And look at this. Okay, so we have a ton here plus that 2,000. What does time-saving stock check tell us? $46,000 worth. That's not bad. I think we'll definitely be under 200,000 when it's all said and done. But this year, I mean in January. Let's go ahead and see about the spelt we want to deactivate. So it burnt through all of that. And then right here, we're going to activate this one. And they're spitting out flour everywhere, and not a different type of flour at least. So that's good. Or are we getting a rye flour? No, it spits out flour as well. All right, I think we are just gonna let it pile up though. Let's look at the prices of the fluctuation on flour before we make that decision. Oh yeah, there's a $1 fluctuation. We can sell that at any time. All right, taking a look, see here. It looks like we have a little bit of solid fertilizer. I don't see any lime. Yeah, so I don't think we have any. We have some herbicide there, I believe. And then back here, nothing. All right, so let's go. We'll have to buy some lime. Not exactly sure how we, oh, I do remember why. I remember why. We ended up kind of giving ourselves some lime for free to pay us back from the liquid lime that we were using, since it didn't really seem to work with precision farming. I did get a comment saying I think you need to wait a month for that. I don't know if that's the case. So we're just gonna be safe here. We're gonna go rent. We're gonna rent a spreader and get it full lime and start getting lime put down on these 3 fields. As far as spreaders go, leasing costs. Oh man. Does this thing do lime? No, it doesn't. This does. The new leader does, and it significantly holds more, or does it? We've got 30 meters on this. We can do 32 meters here. Yeah, let's just lease this. We have the cash, and it can hold 18,000 liters, so we'll go ahead and buy that as well, and we'll see how far that gets us. So this is going to be 16,000, and we'll want to switch this back to 1 and get our full 18,000. And it might take longer to fill up the lime than it will be to actually apply the lime. I kid. It is gonna take a little bit of time though. The floating lime pallet. All right, let's head back. This is full. Doesn't seem to be struggling pulling it. And I think we'll do that new field first because it's gonna burn through the most lime since we haven't done it yet there. So we'll see how much we have left after that to see if we're gonna need to purchase more. Fingers crossed we don't, but I have a feeling we're gonna. All right, this will be interesting. We are kind of taking some liberties here, driving through the neighbor's field. Let's get this configured. Yeah, already, I mean, not too bad. The rate's not too bad there. We shall see. They're making good time cultivating. It's time to bust out some lime. And well, we were able to get at least these 2 fields done. I don't think we're gonna quite have enough for the 3rd field. So we're gonna let them finish cultivating, but I am gonna take a look at the data and see if we can figure that out. But I do know we're gonna apply less lime than we did last time, and I might actually, see, it says good, or okay and good. Let's look at some data. If we look at the economic analysis here, we can see that lime, we used 9,000. So I don't think we'll use 9,000, but I am gonna purchase, let's do 4 more thousand. We'll get it delivered too. I mean, money's not a huge issue here, but just wanna make sure we're being safe. And where did that go? Oh, right there. Okay, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this multitasking going. We're gonna go get the seeder, and we are not gonna put fertilizer in it like we've been doing. And we'll spray fertilizer and herbicide when we need to. But we're gonna start getting some rye in the new field. I think that we're gonna plant rye in that one, and then we'll figure out the other ones as we go. Let's see how we're doing for seed once we connect here. That's gonna be close. And I am gonna just hand this over to a worker and let them get started. We'll probably take over this once we get these other jobs done, because I am gonna take this one over myself and get the lime and everything done on this field. I think is the best course of action for us here. And kind of interested in why that didn't line up perfect. Did we do a different amount of headlands? We did, okay. So we go here, we go to that. And things should, I didn't change. All right, we'll get it fixed. There we go. Yeah, not too much more to do. They're almost to the headlands already, so we'll get that going ourselves, and then we'll finish the liming session on here. And at that point, we'll take over planting. We're gonna have lots of fields to do. All 3, we're gonna wanna get planted. I believe we're gonna do 2 of them in September, or it might be 2 in October. Let's see, because we are going to want to do the same crop types. We're doing rye right now. We could plant triticale now, as well as, what was the other one we were doing here? We could do buckwheat, but that won't be until May. Spelt could be October as well. So we could get all 3 of them planted here in September. It is early enough. We'll see how that goes. We could do fertilizer and herbicide in October and then sell a bunch of flour. Lime is going on the ground here, and I think we're definitely gonna have enough. You can see some areas it's just barely putting any down. They knew this field was close to being in good shape, so chugging along. They are out of seed, so we're gonna have to go get them some more seed for that, but I figured I would just finish this and then, oop, sharp turn, and then we'll just take over the planting at that point. And really it's taking a lot because we had to do this little middle strip. Otherwise it would have been like 2,000 liters, but burning through a little bit more just to finish this spot here. Got to do it. get the best yield possible. Yeah, I don't think we'll use this tractor next time. It doesn't like that if we use this spreader again. But we dropped those off. Let's go ahead and get this returned to the store. All right, and we are back to planting. We got it refilled. We spent a little bit of cash on some seed. And boy, I didn't realize we had speed override going that quick. But it did its job. Didn't seem to struggle at all, so I think I'm gonna kind of copy what they were doing here and do some ups and downs, get that done, and then we'll get on to the next fields. I'll see you in a little bit. Well, we've jumped way forward in time. It is a beautiful November morning here in Poland, and we just made 60,174 plus 2,998. That brings our total to $201,815,000 left to make off of flour. But we do have some more, so we're gonna go pick up the rest of the flour, get it on over here to sell, and we're gonna get to that harvest season next episode. Our next harvest. So we have triticale, rye, and spelt planted on the 3 fields, and we'll show you when we drive by. They're all treated, fertilized, herbicide, just ready to grow and harvest in the summer. And the dollar amount does look a little different. We sold the Lizard truck that we purchased. It just wasn't working out for us. We bought this trailer behind us, but we also sold the baler too, so that made our money a little bit better. And this trailer here is gonna work a lot better to move the flour back and forth. We are out of grain in the grain mill, so really once we sell this next group of them, it's just sit and wait until we can harvest again. So the field to our right now, you can see there's spelt in that field. To the left we have rye, and we have triticale in the field right in front of the farm here. So those are our 3 crops that we're banking on closing the distance here. We're gonna see how much we need, but I'm hoping it's around 150,000, because I believe between those 3 fields, you know, harvesting them, dropping them off at the grain production, I believe we'll get enough flour next harvest season. So next December should be the conclusion, which will be next episode either way. And heading back to the sales location with 19,000 more flour. And here we are. Let's see how we're gonna end what the calendar on the screen shows as year 2, but it's really the first full year. That brings us down to 151,804. I think we can do it. I think we'll be able to get that much flour next episode. We're gonna get it done either way. I'm Szpakowo up. Thanks for hanging out in Poland. Series is struggling a little bit for views, so we're gonna be cutting it short a little bit quicker than I wanted to, but we will get a conclusion next episode. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next episode. Welcome to the finale in Poland. It is July. We are getting ready to harvest 3 fields and get all of the grain to the grain mill. We're looking to make at least 61,000 flour. If we can make that much flour, it's a success that in 2 years we bought the grain mill and made our money back. That was our goal for this series. We're gonna see if we're able to succeed or not today. And I think we're gonna start off with the field directly across the street. I believe it's our biggest one, so we're gonna start with that. And we should be able to wander on over there with the harvester here and not damage anything. But yeah, 3 fields, 3 different crop types. They look all the same, but they are all different. I don't remember what we planted in each, but we'll find out here in a second. It's gonna be sad saying bye to Poland, but it was fun. We'll be finding other maps across the world to do quick little playthroughs like this. And neighbors, sorry. But this will be our first time harvesting this field since we purchased it, and treating it ourselves. So the yield looks terrible right now on the chart that you can see in the mini map, but we're gonna make that much better here today. And away we go, harvesting some rye over here. We are not gonna do any straw. We have no reason to. We're not, no goal for that. So we'll just do, well, what is it called? Just drop in the straw in the back here. We're just wide spreading it. So like we can mulch it later, or that should, like, in return, from what I understand, give us some fertilizer, but I don't think it does in FS25. Should give some nutrition to the soil, especially if you came and ripped it afterwards and mixed it up real nice. But we're gonna get the rye going. We have 120% yield bonus. It looks like it's fluctuating pretty good there. Up to 18.4 tons per hectare. So this should be a pretty marvelous harvest here. And the way that flour mill or the grain mill works, we'll bust through all of the grain before today's episode ends, and we'll know if we won this challenge. But I have a suspicion that we're gonna see this dollar amount be pretty high by the end of today's episode. We're at 215 right now. Money isn't necessarily super important in this series, but getting enough, selling enough flour, that was the entire goal. So 42% there on a single pass, so that's not bad. We'll finish doing the headlands here and see how we're looking, but I think the second we unload some grain, it would make sense to get it over to the production and get that up and running so that we don't have to wait too long until it processes everything. But we won't be replanting the fields. We will be handing them back over to the original farm owners, how I want to kind of play that in my head, and they're gonna plant things in the spring on all 3 fields. But enough rambling. It's time to get a little focus going on here. Get this harvest complete and start making some more flour. There's one hopper full. Get the grain cart over here, get it unloaded, so that'll be 8,000. And I think, you know, we're gonna just skip time anyways, so maybe we will wait till this is completely full and send it over there to drop it off. And once we get the headlands done, I am gonna hand the harvest over to a worker, and we're just gonna run the grain cart. Go get that going, but we'll hop back in so we can do at least one more. Like we got 2 headlands we're gonna do here before we hand it over, so a little bit to get done yet. Fun stuff. So I think we should be aiming for around probably 100,000 liters between all the harvests here, and I think that would pretty much guarantee us. I wanted to do the ratios, but then I realized we had 3 different crop types, so calculating exactly how much rye we would need and how much spelt we'd need and triptychol. I already forgot how to say it, but that was, you know, it would have been a little complicated, so I think just aiming for around 100,000 would be good, and this is going to give us 16 already, so I think we're going to be good, but we're going to see. Got those 2 fields there that are ready to harvest, so we'll be busting through those all in July here, making good time. It's not even 9 o'clock yet in the morning, and we're almost done with the headlands here to get me to hand over to a worker, so we'll do that and then head straight to the mill to drop off the grain, and we should be able to get back in time to unload. So cruising right along. The yield, or the percentage jumping and fluctuating as much as it is, makes me feel like there's something weird going on with the soil type in this map, but I've never seen it jump as much as it's jumping, so a little confused by that, but it's nothing to be concerned about. Staying way above 100% the whole time, so we did real well in this field. Got it, like, actually buying this field probably is the reason we're gonna win this challenge when we swapped out those 2 smaller ones, so semi-challenge. It's a challenge I made halfway through the series, but you know what I mean. They made it fun. All right, rye going in the mill here. So we will get this activated and producing again. And we need rye flour, get that activated. So the ratio on this one is 4-to-1. So it's pretty dang good. So 16,000 liters in there. Let's get back and make sure we get this harvest complete. And they just sent the 80% full signal to us, so we should be getting here just in time. Love it when it works out like this. And they should be able to keep going since we'll catch them in time here. Maybe not. Oh, spoke way too soon. Oh, that's sad. Oh, just a second late. Not bad, though. We can unload them on the go here, though. And we'll start meeting them at the bottom of the field and following them up on every pass. Not a bad process. I love it. Having fun here in Poland. And the last pass here, we already have about 36,000 liters over at the grain mill getting processed, and hit another 20 here. So we're gonna have close to 60,000 liters, it looks like. I don't think we'll quite, well, we might actually get to that 24,000. That would give us that number. So between this and those two fields, we got it. We got it. We're not gonna have to do any more harvests, and we decided we were gonna lose the series if we didn't get enough. $151,000 in flour. I think that might be closer to 300. All right, and they are all emptied and all done with the harvest. So we're gonna instantly get started on the next one. We're gonna go straight across and have them get going while we drop off the grain. We're gonna, like I mentioned, we're relatively gonna go through this pretty quick, but I did want to test a setup here with course play. So let's go in here, field work. We're gonna do 2 headlands, and then there's gotta be a setting in here I'm looking for. So we're gonna change this to lands and see how that works. So we're gonna generate this. Whoops, generate. Oh, do we not have the field selected? Okay, so let's go here to target position like that, field position like so, and then with 2 headlands, we change this to lands. We'll go ahead and generate the course and let them get started. First waypoint and start. Something about that it doesn't like. Interesting. I wonder why. They think something's... Oh, there they go. It just took them a while to calculate that. Okay, so they're gonna do that. We're gonna drop this grain off real quick, and then we're gonna come back and hopefully see what they're doing. And we caused quite the traffic jam, boy. And they have started. I guess that's where I put the target position. Okay, that makes sense. But let's get this dropped off, and then we will get back and watch that a little bit. So dropping it off, you can see 35,000. It's going up fast. Already almost 1,000 flour produced, so I don't think we have one over there. That should be the first 1,000. Yeah, first 1,000 we're creating. But this is going to be at 58,000 liters, so that should generate... It's going to generate 75% of that. So that alone is going to get us pretty darn close. And this second field, I think, will push us over the edge. And then the third one's just going to be pure on profit. And they're just about done with the headland. Oh, we have crop destruction on. What am I doing? All right, I think we got room now. Boy, okay, so let's go ahead. Oh, we're dropping swath. That's unfortunate. But they're going to their second pass here of spelt. And... I'm gonna jump into, well, let's help them unload and finish the headlands. I don't think anything's gonna be different about the headlands in this setup. And this field might be too small for us to really recognize the difference in the configuration. We'll take a look at what the menu says here in a second after we unload. All right, and unloading them here for the first time of the spelt. Now, not gonna get as much. This doesn't yield as well. Just flat out, just the percentage-wise, I don't believe we get as many tons per hectare as we do on the rye. Because it seems like it should have filled up a little quicker than that other field. I know this is it's not as wide of a field, but being able to do it, probably would have been able to get away with both headlands there, whoops, without us unloading. So that's a little troublesome. So maybe we're not going to be at $300,000 today. Maybe it is just going to be closer to that 151. But that should be plenty of relief for now. Let's go ahead and get out of their way. Let them finish that second headland. We're going to get in the sky. I'm going to try to pull up that configuration setup in course play, but I don't know if I'll be able to, not being in the harvester. Let's see. If we come in here... Oh, did I hit H? I did stop them. That's fine. That'll help us see this real quick. So in the settings, land says select how the center of the field should be driven. Up, down, spiral, lands, or racetrack. Okay, so it doesn't really tell us much about what land specifically means. So let's change this to nearest waypoint, and they should pick right up on finishing that headland. They did not. All right, let's go ahead and fix that for them. Then you can turn this little icon on, and then when you get really close to one of these, you can see by this arrow that it is going that direction. So we should be able to just hit play here. and they'll finish that headland now, and then we can shut this back off. But okay. We got a little bit of time before they do their thing, so we'll see what's happening, and we'll look from the sky view here and see if we can figure it out. So my guess is they're gonna come back down to the bottom of the field down here and start their first up and down pass. And then I'm wondering if they're gonna do that pass and then come all the way over to this side of the field so that the auger is always out, and then they can come back and loop like that. But maybe I'm wrong. Are they gonna start in the middle? Okay, they're gonna start in the middle. So this pass would be the one that is blocked. The auger is blocked, but we'll see how the next multiple passes work. My understanding is this is a way to set it up to where the auger is not blocked by the crop as little as possible. And finishing that pass up, they're going to, well, either way, if they go over here or over here. No, if they go over here. No, they want to go here. Yeah, we got this. So this side here, they go all the way that way. You can unload in the middle. They turn around and come on this side, and we can still unload in that middle because the auger will be where the swath is. And that looks like what they're doing. Not bad. And they're at 23% right now, 98% yield and 5.5 tons. So it is about half of what we're getting on the other field. Even though the percentage is roughly the same, it is about 110, 112%. We're only getting 96, so that shouldn't be a 50% decrease in tonnage. That's basically because of the crop is less dense. So we will be getting less flour from the spelt than we got from the rye for sure. All right, here's the truth here. They should come over here. Well, they could go, yeah, they need to come here next, and then they come down that side again and this again, and you have 4 straight passes where you can unload. This is awesome. This is going to extremely improve my efficiency in harvesting. Unbelievable. And I apologize. I tried to find who left the comment and give them credit for letting me know about this setting. I couldn't remember what video it was on, so it's really hard to find comments that I've responded to, but thank you so much, mystery person. This is gonna change my efficiency a ton. I don't think we need to be in the sky anymore, so I'm gonna start helping them unload. Boy, busting through this field though. Absolutely marvelous. I know the real farmers out there, let me know, is this a strategy you guys do on Real Harvest? It seems like it's a very intelligent strategy, in my opinion. High IQ right here. Very cool that Courseplay has that configuration too. That's slick. Definitely gonna help in the chicken challenge and whiskey RP. All right, so let's see. We just unloaded them completely on that pass. They should be coming over here. Well, maybe not. Yeah, they are. Okay. Just in an interesting route there. Yeah, so that's 4 straight passes with the auger not blocked by grain there and accessible to the grain cart. So that is the way right there. And it might be my imagination, but turning around besides that one seemed super efficient too. And maybe they calculate that based on the field, and that's what took them so long to get started there. Wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but we, 12,000 liters we're at now. Should be close to enough to put us over that finish line, but we still have the the other crop to harvest. Yeah, it's gonna be a 5th straight pass without anything blocked, and then a 6th to finish. So on this field, we ended up having just 1 pass where we weren't able to unload them. Now imagine this being a super long field where the harvester fills up on a single pass multiple times. This increases our efficiency like tenfold, like a ton. Like, I'm excited to get back in the chicken challenge and see how much quicker we can do those harvests. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we should be able to complete that in the 2:15 instead of all the stopping we were doing. I know I cut a lot of that out of the video, but it was like 3 hours about to do those harvests. That's a swath to drive up there. Oof. All right, only 13,000 with a pass to go. We could get these little corners here, but I don't think we're gonna stress and need it. And coming to the end here, not gonna quite get to 15,000, but definitely every little bit is appreciated. All right, one field to go. So I'm gonna just start a little bit here because I feel like Courseplay sets it up a little bit better for you when you're farther in the field than we were. But let's go ahead and get a little of this harvest here, and then we should be able to clear this course and just generate and go. And they did start right away this time, so I don't know what was going on with that other one, but I'm gonna go drop off the grain. We're gonna get the spelt activated, and we'll check on this other harvest here, the crop I can't pronounce, to finish our last harvest in Poland. My mind is blown by that Courseplay configuration, guys. Let me know if you have, oh, we're still flying. Let me know if you have any other tips like that that can help with efficiency. As I get into these bigger projects, the efficiency really helps. So let's get our spelt activated here. It's a 9-to-7 ratio, so not too bad. And we should have one thing of flour over there already. 59 to go. Well, 60 to go, technically, is what we'll need. So we need 61 at least to hit our number. Well, a little bit less because we do have the environmental score bonus. That's definitely going to help us out. And that math is we need $151,804. And at $2,500 each for 1,000 flour, 61 flour would give us more than enough. We would have about $700 extra in profit at that point. Just cruising, just turned right into that headland. That was awesome. And let's see this unload, and then we'll jump in the harvester and see how the yield is doing. But this seemed to be filling up a little better than the spelt did. My guess is it's gonna be about 7 tons. That's my guess there on tons per hectare. But that's already emptied. 7.7, what a guess. So it's about in between the two of the fields we were doing there. Not bad. I think I'll see you at the end of the harvest, guys. I was interested to see what they're gonna do on this field, so we are jumping back in here. And they are gonna start, where are they gonna start? So we will get more of an idea of how this, oh, the stupid tree's in the way. It's not a stupid tree, it's a nice tree. It's a gone tree. Yeah, the turnaround was super quick there. Like, this is beyond, like, I know I'm like beating a dead horse here, but this is cool. I can't believe I didn't know about this setup, and thank you again. I need to look up that comment. They even went to the outside there, guys. Oh, that's so smart. 2 passes left and made the right decision. Blown away. Absolutely blown away right there. And the last pass. Let's get this up to 18,000 here. Come on, harvester. It's gonna get close. Slowing down at the end there. 17,664 liters. Let's get this in. And it's time to just pass some time after that and sell some flour. All right, Tritical going in here. Triticale. I think it's hilarious that I found people arguing over how to pronounce that. It's so funny. All right, so we have a decent amount here. We have 2,000 already. 59 to go. We're gonna go get the other cart, skip a bunch of time, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, we have burnt through it all. We have 20,000 here. And I'm not gonna tell you how much more, but we're gonna go sell it. All right, I brought it all over here. One time for the guys in the hole. We're gonna sell all this flour. Here's the first load going in. Oh, you can't see because the UI's off. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. Okay, so we got 2 numbers there. We'll have to add those up. I'm gonna have to use the finance tab. I didn't get those written down in time there. But that was close to 100,000, wasn't it? That's interesting. No, it wasn't. We already had 200 some, but they're a good number, 60. Or did we not get enough? It's gonna be close. Feeling a little nervous, guys. And then that goes in. So let's go ahead and take a look at the finance tab. Oof, that was too intense for me. Too quick, too quick. We made 170,000 in product sales. We needed to get 151. It was a success. Thanks for hanging out in Poland, guys. We'll figure out why we didn't get as many viewership as I thought we could have got on this series. But thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll catch you on the next episode.